Hey, paisanos! It's the Deep Fat Fried Super Show!
Bum, 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 bum.
All right. It's been a long time coming. Supposed to do this last week. Didn't happen for some reason.
Shut up, TJ.
I don't know. It's like someone didn't do the fucking
like,
research they were supposed to
like
do or
some
something.
guy-
I don't know.
It's like some guy dropped the fucking ball.
I don't know who it was.
I don't want to name any fucking
I don't want to
names
name
here.
any names and nothing,
But it might be
something
Paul's
happened.
fucking ego. I don't know.
You know, maybe it was Paul.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it was Paul.
You mean dropping the ball, like not giving the other co-hosts a screen that they can see shit on? You mean dropping a ball like that,
Who
TJ?
fucking
What
needs
kind of
it?
dropping the ball are we talking
Who
here?
fucking needs it? It's a click. It's a fucking click.
It's
Whatever.
a fucking click, TJ. You
Who gives a
Tell
fuck
me
if
all
you
about
two
it, TJ.
retards can see the fucking show or not? You're a bunch of fucking losers anyway. Who gives a fuck about yous, eh?
All right, TJ, do the whole show yourself then, bitch.
I will. Fuck off.
You know
Get
what?
out
Do
of
it
here.
yourself. Do it all
You
yourself.
shoot off at the mouth like that at me enough times, little doggy, and I'm gonna bark back. Okay? I'm just warning you, TJ. I can be pushed
Yeah,
over.
well, I
so
don't fucking
fast.
bark. I bite, bitch.
Want to bite?
Okay. Well, let's see what kind of bite you got there.
Hey, back up off me, motherfucker. You
Look at
don't
this-
even want none of this. You
look at
don't
this
want none of
Goomba.
this.
TJ.
You don't want none of this, bitch. You better get up out my face right now.
In your fucking face, TJ.
Get out of my fucking face. I will fucking destroy you. I will destroy you, bitch. I will fucking destroy you.
Get it.
I'll destroy your ass.
That's assault, TJ.
Ah! He attacked me. You see that? I'm sewing his ass. Ow!
Why are you crying?
I got the whiplash now. Ah, god damn it.
Why are you crying like a broad now?
I got you. Fuck
You sound like my girlfriend.
You know what? I'm suing your ass too. Y'all will see both of you motherfuckers in court.
Oh, are you
I
gonna?
was sitting here minding my own business, not provoking nothing.
Are you gonna
Now-
show up in
now
your
you-
finest dress, Miss Mary Nancy?
Oi!
Huh?
TJ's like...
You gonna
went from
put that hair, that
you went from
hair and pigtails up there?
I have serious whiplash here. I'm fucking whiplash.
Pussy disease.
Ah,
my
God,
dad
I need
used
a
to
neck
call that.
brace. I can't even do the show. The show is canceled. Fuck yous.
Oh, my
Fuck
neck
off.
hurts
This is
so
over. This is
badly.
over.
Oh, my neck.
This is not even a show anymore.
I can't
Oh,
do the
thank
show
goodness.
anymore.
Ridiculous. I can't deal
Oh,
with these
no.
fucking work-
All right, so Scotty, 50-50 split of TJ's cut of the business. Okay, fair enough.
deal.
He's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, TJ. No.
No, you're fired.
Sorry, we shook
fired.
hands.
You're fired, TJ.
We shook hands. You've been fired, TJ.
I'm gonna alternate my Kool-Aid with this wine.
Oh, that's a great idea, TJ. Just get roaring drunk, TJ. We have a serious task ahead of us tonight.
All right. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood.
All right.
God, TJ.
Well,
Simmer
let me
down.
tell you something.
Simmer down, TJ. Down a level, TJ. Down a level.
All right.
You may need some of that energy for later, TJ, because I'm
Gotcha.
telling you.
Roger that.
Oh, come on, Paul. That was a great one.
Paul's
Pun.
ego.
No.
Paul's ego.
Because I'll tell you what. There has been an assassination of my character in the lead up to this episode.
I see.
People have tried to paint this as Ebert is Paul's mortal enemy. Ebert, Paul's most horrible fucking hobgoblin.
Yeah,
well, I
kryptonite.
will tell you this. I approached this episode as a man of integrity with no bias.
Do you want his picture up?
Go ahead and throw it up. It's the earliest picture that I could find of Roger
So
Ebert.
this is an episode, Paul, you're purporting that is filled with
It
objectivity.
looks like the.
It's objective in
a
nature.
fair. We're giving Roger Ebert a fair shake.
And you'll see how that plays out
All right.
as we get
He looks
going.
like the good kid from like an old PSA that gets turned bad by drugs or something by the end of the PSA.
I will tell people this. This is not a biographical episode, but we are going to find out a little bit about the guy for anybody out there that may not know or may be curious about the fundamental parts of his life.
I see.
So Ebert was the only child of Annabelle and Walter Ebert. He came from a modest background. His father was an electrician, earned just enough to keep his family out of hard times, tried to build a brighter future for little Roger.
Wow.
Raji.
And
What an inspirational story. How can you possibly object to this man, Paul?
I don't. This is my point, TJ. You've painted me as a guy that's against Roger Ebert, and I am not.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Sorry, I'm choking a little bit
Eh.
on that. As a child, Roger Ebert loved to write. So even as a kid, he loved to write, TJ. And that writing expressed itself in high school when he became the editor of his high school newspaper, TJ.
What
the fuck have you done?
What a bamf.
What was your biggest high school accomplishment, TJ? Give it to me. Give it to me,
dropping
TJ.
out.
Thank you. Thank you. This man went to the top of his paper. He ran that paper.
He ran it.
Shortly after, he began attending the University of Illinois. What college you got under your belt, TJ?
School of Hard Knocks.
Exactly. Or as we like to call it, Skid Row, TJ. Bums Row. Coulda been Row. Has been Row, TJ. This man went to college, TJ.
I'm taking
You're a 2-bit bum,
Yeah.
TJ.
Take another swig of that wine.
Fucking vagabond. Why don't you go wander the streets?
Like the vagrant that you are, TJ, because here is a man of integrity in front of you, TJ.
Indubitably.
A man that went to college
To get
and
lots
got a
of
bachelor's
knowledge.
degree in journalism,
Cool.
and then went back and got a PhD in English at the University of Chicago, prestigious university.
Holy shit, dude. A PH fucking
But
D,
you know what,
TJ?
TJ? After all of that time, he abandoned all of that to write full time.
Wow. What a hero.
And his decision
the
paid
dream.
off in 1966 when he was hired to write for the Chicago Sun-Times, Sunday magazine. That turned into a giant career, TJ. Go to our next link.
Indubitably, old chum.
He became the paper's film critic and instantly became a hit.
Did they
because he
pay
was-
him in hot dogs?
It looks like they indeed
Did they pay him in lard?
were paying him in popcorn and stuff that you can buy at the counter
Dude,
at
Roger
movie
Ebert
theaters.
got fat very early on in his life.
I'll do it for free milk dogs.
That looks like a fucking...
Skinny, fat. Skinny, fat.
I mean, the first image looks like maybe like a
Skinny,
high school image
fat.
or something, like a high school... Because he was born in what, 1940... Or what year was he born?
I didn't take it down. Sorry, I don't know exactly.
Well, I'm assuming he was probably born like
he was
the-
in
the 30s or
college in the
40s.
'60s. So
Yeah, so I'm assuming he was born. Yeah, so he got fat quick. So this, what year was this taken?
this was right around the time, so in '66 or so.
Okay, yeah, so he got fat quick in his
Yep.
life.
So the paper's society reporter died, and this green reporter was tapped to become the paper's new film critic. And it's doubtful that anyone would have predicted the prestige and longevity that Ebert would bring to his position.
Won a Pulitzer.
Certainly his bosses didn't sense anything. His appointment was buried on page 57 of the paper's April 5th,
God damn, I didn't even know.
1967 edition.
50, page 57.
Yes.
Jesus.
But TJ, another accomplishment comes up because in 1975, after years of being a humble film critic, this man won a Pulitzer motherfucking prize, TJ.
Yes! Yes!
I'm gonna read to you a small excerpt from that Pulitzer Prize-winning essay
Just
on
trying
the
to
rights of
further-
women.
Just trying to further tarnish TJ the great reputation of Roger Ebert. This is disgusting. This is typical
Coughing
behavior
his way
of
through his
someone like
accomplishments.
TJ.
Yeah.
Okay,
What happened?
please continue, Paul.
Ebert writes, Liv Ullmann won Best Actress Award of the National Society of Film Critics the other week, but for a moment her chances looked threatened. That wasn't because she had a strong competition, but because her performance in The New Land had hardly any competition at all. So weak were most of the year's female roles that 3 of the critics, blah, 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 he names them, sponsored a resolution calling on the society to give no award at all in the Best Actress category. So basically, this was an essay calling for Hollywood to give women more interesting roles in films. It started organically, but then it got faster and more rocket.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Women!
So he won a Pulitzer Prize, and he was the first film critic in history, and to this day the only. No, I don't know if it's to this day the only, but he was the first
Yes.
film critic
And maybe
in
the
history.
only, who knows?
Maybe the only.
There's no way to know.
Ever to receive that prestigious
Other than,
prize,
like,
TJ.
looking
So
it up,
who are
that's what
you, TJ, to impugn this man's honor?
You're the one who's been impugning his honor, dude.
Impugning his honor, TJ.
I don't ever recall that. I recall nothing but Paul singing Roger Ebert's praises at every turn, TJ. In
I
fact,
take umbrage with
in
that,
fact, I
TJ.
remember you, TJ, being the one that taking issue with Roger Ebert.
Yeah.
Well,
Roger Ebert. wins
As you can
Pulitzer.
imagine, his winning of the Pulitzer here and this very natural, not staged photo at all
Yeah. Clearly
catapulted Roger Ebert from humble film critic
to film critic god.
to national star when he was offered a position on television.
Whoa.
Yes, that's right.
That's not time
The
for
show,
that.
initially titled Opening Soon at a Theater Near You, first aired in September 1975 and proved to be an immediate success. By the end of its first season, the program was showcased on more than 100 public television stations. 3 years later, PBS, which had secured the rights to the program, bought the show and brought it to 180 markets, TJ.
Cool.
And it's not shocking because when you think about it before, like films used to be toured around the country, so it's like no one really. I'm not sure. This is probably an innovative idea, is what I'm assuming, that like having film critics go and tell the general public instead of just writing a review, like going on and watching a television program.
National film criticism.
And you want to talk about cheddar, TJ?
Yeah.
Can your cheddar stack up against this man's cheddar, TJ? Well, let's find
I'm
out.
assuming not.
Well, the show's popularity certainly fattened the wallets of the two critics.
I certainly have a stronger jawline.
Oh, TJ, below the fucking belt, man.
That really was TJ. Come on, dude.
All right, I'm sorry.
Come on, dude. Really?
I apologize.
I mean, the guy had cancer.
In 1982, Siskel and Ebert were earning $500,000 apiece.
Ooh.
4 years later,
Wait, how much did you say?
$500,000 apiece in
1982.
1982.
82. So that's like a lot by today's standards.
4 years later, after Walt Disney Co. purchased the program, the two
Right.
critics doubled their salaries.
So $1 million a year at that point.
So, yes. So by 1986, multimillionaires.
Right.
He had a long and illustrious career, probably the most well-known film critic in America. Would you challenge that?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Most recognizable, kind of codified the thumbs up, thumbs down.
I mean, maybe Gene Siskel, but that was because they were partners.
Right. They
So
were
they're tied
they were a
together.
duo, like
Right.
Laurel and Hardy.
But I don't think that. I mean, like when it became Ebert and Roper, it sucked.
Yep.
But I don't know. What whatever you think about either of them as critics,
And the entire time-
they had a fucking strong dynamic.
Oh,
on that
their
show.
endorsement
Well,
of the movie was a big deal.
I pulled a video of Ebert and Siskel disagreeing about everything.
And you
that
want
we
me to
can,
play- you want
yeah,
me-
go for
go
it.
ahead,
Let's
do it.
take a look.
Bathroom humor, Gene.
And it's very
Bathroom
funny.
Humor.
It's very funny
It's
bathroom
not that.
humor.
If you think it's funny,
Yes,
then
I
maybe
do.
you need to grow up along with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Roger,
you could
that's
both go
right.
to Richard
That's
Pryor
right.
and learn how to be a little more mature.
Let me tell you. it
What's
is
with this
very-
laugh track? That wasn't there
Yeah,
originally,
it's
was it?
very common back in these days to add this artificial laugh track.
I don't remember. I remember watching Siskel and Ebert a lot. I don't remember ever hearing a laugh track. So maybe it was just something they were doing
Maybe-
at this time
maybe
that they
so.
got rid of later because it's weird.
This is a
but-
very early episode. This is a 70s episode.
yeah. You can even see the VHS
Yeah.
degradation down there in the bottom.
Very funny. Oddly, people who haven't seen this film are going to agree. Gee, Roger's right. It should be clean. It should be clean.
I
You
didn't
really
say
played
it
to
should
the
be
audience.
clean. I'm not playing to the audience, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying it should be clean. I have nothing against four-letter language.
Right.
I love it when Richard Pryor uses it. Richard Pryor uses it as poetry. Eddie Murphy uses it as a bludgeon.
She comes to that camp naive, and she grows up at the end of the
And
film.
that's
I
the
like it.
cliche, Gene. That's a cliche.
Not the way she
Surprised you
plays
fell
it.
for it.
Not the way she
It's
plays it.
just all by the numbers.
Not the way she plays
all
it.
by the numbers. The dancing is good. The plot,
She's good. Tell me she's not good.
she's okay.
I think more than okay.
What about the humor in it? What about the
I didn't-
wonderful dialogue and the nice little plays on words and the way
What
that
about
they,
the
they
excessive
express
fighting?
their
What about the excessive fighting?
excessive fighting? This is the world.
So
that
it
we're
almost
talking
looks
about.
like these two just like handed the baton back and forth being morally outraged.
yeah.
One of them was
What
morally
about the
outraged
fighting?
today. Who's going to do it today? Who's going to be morally outraged today, Gene? I don't know. I
This
don't know,
movie
Roger.
outrages me. This is not good for the America.
Nevertheless,
Reconsider your vote,
nevertheless, I
please.
won't reconsider my vote. Nevertheless, I felt it.
Gorillas in the
bottom
Mist.
line, it was worth recommending.
Oh, that's because apes and a
It's
woman,
gorilla.
and they look pretty.
That's what you're saying. I think I would have found a more elegant way to phrase it, but nevertheless.
And this is not a simple mad slasher
Okay, then why
movie.
is it a comedy?
Because he wants to set you up. He's a director, and he wants to play you like all the directors, the great directors want to do. He wants to play you like a piano, which is have you smile and then swing you right into some depression.
Yeah, well, the
I
next
think,
time
I think
that
he got
somebody
you.
wants to play me like a piano, he'd better get some music that's worth listening to.
Oh, snap! Snap!
TJ, have you ever delivered a sicker burn than that?
I don't think so.
Another humbling fact. Bow before this man, TJ.
No one can see me bowing. I did bow.
That was a sick,
Fall
that was
to
off the
your
cuff too. That was off the
knees.
top of his motherfucking head.
Yeah, he's just like,
He was a sick bird machine.
motherfucker wants to play me like a piano. He better come up with some better sheet music, bitch. Wah, wah.
But you like what both of the leads did in
both
their...
talented guys. Give them a screenplay.
I think they got one film with little dialogue. So much better.
I'm not wrapping myself in the flag of children. You're wrapping yourself in the flag of the sophisticated film
No,
critic who's
boredom.
seen it all.
No, boredom. Boredom with Benji running.
I'm noticing that usually Ebert is the one defending shitty, terrible movies.
Yes.
And that Siskel is usually like,
Hey,
what are you, a fucking retard? Benji the Hunted?
Yeah.
I mean, grow up.
You know what? Paul? You know what, Paul? Maybe the axe to grind with Ebert is because maybe you see a little bit of yourself. It's a dark reflection, dude.
Once
You
again,
see-
you are
you
implying
see-
that I have an axe to grind against this great man with many accomplishments that dwarf all of our accomplishments
I
sitting
mean,
here at
you
the
can be
dais.
sardonic, Paul, but I think you see a little bit of Ebert in yourself. Man.
Well, maybe you see a little bit of Siskel in yourself.
Maybe
sir.
I do, Paul, but I would acknowledge it.
Bored by this movie, and indeed, I found the nature of photography to be very interesting myself.
I don't know what's wrong with you. You're really in the holiday season this year. You're giving out gift reviews. So for
That's fucking badass, dude.
to see it, I'd say see it, but be prepared to be disappointed.
I'd tell a friend. Okay, that's great. Okay, then I would agree with that. See it, but be prepared to be disappointed.
At the end.
If you can leave after an hour and 20 minutes, you'll think you walked out of a great movie.
All right.
So that gives you a taste of the dynamic that made these
They
guys
had
a household
look,
name.
I mean, look, hey, you know, whatever we want to say about either of these fuckers as critics or reviewers or whatever the fuck else, like, they had good fucking chemistry. And they fucking, you know, sometimes they'd get along and be friends. Sometimes they'd be at each other's fucking throats.
Dude, when I was a kid, that was a big deal. It'd be like you'd see like an advertisement for a film, and it'd be like, Siskel and Ebert give it 2 big thumbs up.
Yeah.
mean,
Two
so-
enthusiastic
They tried for
thumbs
after
up.
Siskel died. They tried.
Both of these fucking pretentious film
Yeah.
critics loved this piece of
They tried
shit.
Roper
Hey.
for a little while. It's like it was like Ebert
and Roper
I mean,
gave
it,
it
like
it
thumbs
managed
up.
to carry just because Ebert was there.
because of Ebert. Not
But
Roper sucks.
Roper
These
is
guys,
garbage.
at the height of their popularity, were a household name, and they had tremendous power over what people thought about movies before they went and saw them. And,
yeah.
to a certain extent, what they thought about them after they saw them.
Well, the thumbs up, dude. The thumbs up was totally like that's a thing that like you totally associate with them. It's
Right.
Like, oh, thumbs up or thumbs down.
But during this entire time, Roger kept working in his position as the film critic for the Chicago Sun-Times. And he did so all the way up until his death on April 4th, 2013. He died at the age of 70.
Womp, womp, womp.
Obviously,
He was
had-
actually preparing to return home from the hospital after one of many surgeries. As you can see, he had cancer in his lymph nodes that eventually spread to salivary glands. He had to have surgeries that made it impossible for him to talk.
Hey, you know, I thought of another thing but that fucking Paul and Roger Ebert have in common, too.
Oh, yeah?
You got both, like, the big
Jowly.
black ladies, dude.
Oh, yeah, that is true. We do.
Because he had a big black lady
That is true.
Yeah.
for his wife.
I remember when this was all going on. I mean, this was a slow, like he had a very slow, it was just
Yeah.
progression of just like got worse and worse. And you kind of knew about the time of his death, like how much, like you'd seen him in public like this, and it's like how much longer
They
how much
actually-
could he really hold on.
They actually wanted to give him a prosthetic jaw, but he didn't want to do it because he thought it'd be too painful a surgery. They wanted to. They were actually developing a voice thing for him,
Like Stephen Hawking
like a
had.
Stephen Hawking
Yeah.
one, but it was going to sound like him because it was going to be reconstructed from old, TV episodes
but
and
I'm
shit.
sure he died before that.
But he
happened.
died before they could develop
But
it.
even
so.
in his end days, TJ,
Yes.
he had a great parting quip. Leave that picture up.
Okay.
Here's what he said to somebody. He scrawled this on a napkin. He said, "There's no need to pity me. Look how happy I am." Even he knew, TJ, and was able to lampoon his appearance at the end.
Yeah.
The perpetual smile that seemed to be forced onto his face.
Yeah, that's true.
So, TJ, are you ready
I'm ready for
to
what?
step into the water with this big fish? Because there's
guess.
no way for us to do this episode unless we play his game. And his game, TJ, this TV stuff was an aside. The thumbs up, thumbs down, that was an aside. His real bread and butter was 4 stars or below. That's what he did at the Chicago Sun-Times the entire time that he was there, and that is what we are going to do tonight.
Yeah.
I have selected a random, totally, incredibly, increasingly, I can't even drive home how random number of movies
Okay.
that I think we've all seen,
Well, all of them listed here.
and we are going to go through each one.
And rate them between 1 and 4 stars.
Now,
right?
before we do that,
Or 0 and 4. I
yeah,
guess.
0 and 4 stars. And we can do it in half increments as well. This is Roger Ebert's game. This is the man's game. Are you guys ready to play?
Let's play.
You guys ready to step in?
play the most
am
dangerous
indeed.
game.
Well, before we do that, we should go back to that last one there, TJ.
Yes.
Before we do that, let's talk a little bit more about the man. He knew that video games can never be art. He was aware of that. You guys are aware of this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Do you want to read to us a little bit of his thesis there?
Having once made the statement above, I have declined all opportunity, and he's talking about video games can never be art.
Yep.
I have declined all opportunities to enlarge upon it or defend it. That seemed to be a fool's errand, especially given the volume of messages I received urging me to play this game or that and recant the error of my ways. Nevertheless, I remain convinced that in principle, video games cannot be art. Perhaps it is foolish of me to say never, because never, as Rick Wakeman informs us, is a long, long time. Let me just say that no video gamer now living will survive long enough to experience the medium as an art form.
So he was very, I mean, we don't have to read the whole thing, but he was very
Oh,
adamant.
we're going to read it all. We're going to read the whole fucking article.
I don't think you should, TJ.
We're going to read the whole fucking giant ass goes on forever fucking article, motherfucker.
He was not a fan of video games as a medium, did not think that they were art, even though he did spend a chunk of his time talking about and reviewing them with Gene Siskel. He played some video games in the 80s. I think I pulled a video of him and Gene Siskel boogieing down to some technological marvels.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look. I gotta take this down and then. Fuck. I need like more screens even.
Give me 1,000 screens.
4 is not enough.
Give me 28 screens.
Actually, TJ has 5 screens you can play with.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Out of the balcony and into the luxuriously appointed All-American Den, where we preview and test drive some of the hardware and the software that might make good gifts this holiday season. The Nintendo video game system.
We're going to now
Sorry for the insane volume level.
I like they have these two funny
nutties.
nutties fucking
play this
Nintendo
heavy
gaming
game that I
system.
call Duck Hunt. I got
We're gonna
one.
play
No,
the
you didn't get
duck
any.
hunt. You didn't get
got one.
shit.
I got two. You've never missed a duck yet. You told me there was a secret to the game.
There is a secret. I went to military school. I know how to shoot.
Gene and I are still catching up with the basic Nintendo system.
Hit A to kick. Now. Yeah, great kick.
It was a little frightening to hear the kids saying that they play 2 hours a night or 1 hour a night. That's a hell of a lot of time.
And what
That's less than the length of a movie.
Listen to this, guys.
about parents who say, I got a Nintendo system for my kid, and now I can't get him away from the television set?
Good, that's what we want to hear.
I'll do anything.
Hell yeah. That guy is honest as fuck.
I
what
love
we
that
want.
shit.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh,
That's
we
our
don't-
plan.
This is a pretty long clip. I just wanted to show them kind of fuddy-duddying around with games.
Video.
Duck Hunt.
What's the deal
But you know
with
what?
video my games?
You know what? I'm not going to dwell on this, TJ, because
Yeah.
the man might have been a little out of touch with video games, but nobody can impugn his honor as a film critic and a lover of film.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's step into the arena.
You want to go to the arena?
Yeah, let's just do it, man.
All right, rock on. So what we're gonna do, let me just explain this. Let me just fucking pull this shit up. So here is the chart, right? So this is the films we're gonna look at. We're gonna give our own star reviews in these little columns here, and then we're gonna take a look at what Ebert's review was. So here's the films: Clockwork Orange, Fight Club, UHF, Die Hard, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Alice in Wonderland, Speed 2, The Usual Suspects, Starship Troopers, Cop and a Half, The Happening, Dead Poets Society, Death to Smoochie, Team America World Police, Anaconda, 2012, Junior, The Phantom Menace, Reservoir Dogs, Tommy Boy, Home Alone 3, Garfield, and The Thing. So that's a huge variety of different levels, of different movies, of different genres.
As I said, TJ, as random
Hodgepodge.
as could be.
It's random, huh? Okay.
I said absolute randomness. TJ.
Absolute randomness.
And we're starting right here with A Clockwork Orange. Now, once again, just to remind everybody, we have between 0 and 4 stars. 4 stars being absolute unimpugnable masterpiece, 0 being total unwatchable dog shit, and the whole...
Oh, pig shit, Paul.
Pig shit, sorry.
Pig shit, Paul's ego.
Pig shit.
Watch the post show if you want, or pre-post show if you want to understand that joke, ladies and gentlemen.
So, what do you guys think about this movie?
I think we talked about it pretty extensively during our look back at the films of Stanley Kubrick.
The visions of Stanley Kubrick.
The
TJ.
visions. Well, I was.
Thank you, TJ.
I was describing.
Thank you, TJ.
I wasn't. Okay.
Thank you, TJ.
Shut up, Scott.
Thank you.
God damn you. Anyway, it's a good movie. Yeah, I mean, it's solid. It's interesting. I just watched it again recently after the Kubrick episode because I got nostalgic for it.
Yeah.
Holds up great, has a compelling message about the nature of society and the nature of violence and the nature of all kinds of, crime.
I mean,
It's kind of, I don't know if you could call it necessarily prescient because not too much of it happened yet, but I have an idea. I have a feeling that this film might become more prescient in the next 20 or 30 years.
As time goes on,
Yeah. I think that it's just way ahead of its time to where modern times haven't even quite caught up with it yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with any of that. What about you, Scotty?
I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie always is not even. I mean, like obviously people go with like the joy riding or the beating the bum up and obviously the rape scene and killing and murdering the woman and obviously the visions of when he's going through the program to be let out early and being tortured. But I always like the end when he gets thrown out of the building or jumps out of the fucking building or the house where obviously they'd victimized that guy and his wife.
Right.
And then the politicians then, oh shit, we got to cover this up. So suddenly, the guy that you fucked over and did all this horrible shit and actually you destroyed his life. Now he's the bad guy.
Right.
I always just love that element of the story, how it comes full circle. So I mean, I would say this is one of my favorite Stanley Kubrick films. Not my favorite, but one of them.
Yeah, definitely near the top or at the top for me. My top Stanley Kubrick film is always vacillating. I can never pick.
And it's like, and this is a film if you watch, I mean, whether you like it or not, it's very memorable. And to me,
You'll never forget it after you've seen it.
I mean, like I can almost tell you the entire progression of the movie just off the top of my head.
For me, this is I'm willing to give my review now. I'm willing to give this 3.5 stars. I think that this is about as close to perfect as you can get in a movie.
Paul says 3.5.
I think I might even be robbing it a little bit.
Or actually, I guess Paul said 3/12 according to how I typed that.
3/12.
3/12.
3.5 stars from Paul.
What about you, Scotty?
Ooh, I'm not sure. Well, I definitely. I always say
don't be a pussy. You're playing a man's game now, Scotty. There's no time for you to sit there and contemplate. Well, you deserve $4, $3. Make a decision, Scotty.
Okay, I'll do 3.4.
3.4. You can't do 3. It has to be halves.
Half stars.
Bullshit.
That's how
we have to play the game.
Bullshit.
As Ebert played it.
This is fascism. Okay,
a man's
3.5.
3.5 then. 3.4. What a fucking weirdo. You're a piece of shit, Scotty. Why are you such a piece of shit over there, huh? What you doing over there, Scotty? Well, fuck you guys. Fuck you and your 3.5 stars. I give it 4 stars.
Wow.
Go ahead.
All right, so we all seem to agree, and we are all incredibly wrong.
We're wrong.
We have failed to play the man's game. This is a 2-star movie.
2 stars.
2 stars.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange is an ideological mess, a paranoid right-wing fantasy masquerading as an Orwellian warning. It pretends to oppose the police state and forced mind control, but all it really does is celebrate the nastiness of its hero, Alex. I don't quite know how to explain my disgust at Alex, whom Kubrick likes very much, as his visual style reveals, and as we shall see in a moment. Alex is the sort of fearsomely strange person we've all run across a few times in our lives.
Wait, what?
No.
I have never run across anyone like Alex.
Which is kind of the point of the character.
Life, dude.
What kind of life was Ebert living that he was bumping into Alex DeLarge's all the time?
He must have. Damn, Ebert, your life was more interesting than I thought.
So we've already fucked ourselves, guys. We way overrated this film. Clockwork Orange, whatever you might think of it, TJ, that's a 2-star film.
I'm more than
an ideological mess, TJ.
I doubled the score.
Doubled it. You fucked it worse than we did, and we fucked it pretty bad.
You guys fucked it up, but I royally fucked it up. Oops.
Well, Maybe we'll do better with the
Oopsie-doopsie.
next film, TJ. One that we've all seen,
Take a
one that
quick
most
look
people
at the
will be.
scoreboard as it stands now. So once again, Ebert, Clockwork Orange is a 2-star film. We thought it was 3.5, 3.5, and 4 stars because we're stupid.
We're stupid.
How many Pulitzers are between us, the three of us again?
0.0 Pulitzers, I believe.
Damn it. Not even a single Pulitzer here.
Now,
So
there's an average of
obviously,
0.
Well, we've
obviously
got a
this
lot-
is correct.
Maybe we'll get better as the list goes. Maybe we will come
Yeah,
closer.
we're gonna, we got to try harder. That
Yes.
just shows that we need to put more effort into this, guys. More effort. Okay.
Well, the next film, TJ.
All right,
one
I'm
that's
ready.
instantly recognizable to most people. This
Yep.
is Fight Club.
Fight Club.
First rule of Fight Club is
I've seen this movie a bunch of fucking times. I've probably seen it a dozen times or more.
I think
love it.
every person who's any kind of neckbeard or edgelord has probably spent at least 2 or 3 Fight Club viewings, and I know that for me, it's probably around like 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great movie based on a great book. And yeah, unfortunately, the
One of the few
slideshow
times-
that we're using is probably going to pop up a fucking ad every once in a
One
while.
of the
so we'll deal
few
with it.
movies that I've always kind of felt was one of the rare instances where, I can't say that I've read every book that a film has been based on or vice versa, but I could say that in this instance, I feel like the movie, although the book is good, the movie kind of slightly, I think, edges it out.
I don't know that I'd agree there. I'm always usually a guy that defers to a book over a film. That's just a personal flaw of mine. But I would say
I would
that
agree
it
with
comes very close.
I would agree with that in general, but I think that in this case, I'm gonna give the edge to the movie. But whatever,
It's
I
a
love
great
them both.
movie. It's got an edgy message. It's shot wonderfully and it's edited fucking impeccably. So it's just it never stale, never boring, never lingers too long on any part of its subject matter.
Oh, Meatloaf.
Yeah, Meatloaf is in it with a big pair of bitch tits.
Oh, do I love Meatloaf in this movie? I love how chaotic it is. I love how you're always second guessing.
Meatloaf. His name is Robert Paulson. He has a
His
name.
name is Robert Paulson.
In death, the agents of Project fucking Mayhem have a name, Scotty, and his was Robert Paulson.
His name was Robert Paulson.
It's a beautifully shot movie. It's iconic. What do you think about a rating? Let's start with Scotty this time. Let's let Scotty lead the ratings cavalcade.
Come
what
on,
would you give
Scotty.
I
this,
really
Scotty?
enjoy this movie, but I'm gonna give it 3 stars.
3 stars.
3
That's
stars from
respectable.
Skittle.
That's still a great movie by the Star System.
I really enjoy this
Right?
movie. There's a
Yep.
lot of good things in it. Like they said, there's a lot of great performances.
Yeah. Yep. I'll give it 3.5.
3.5. Fair. Paul, where do you fall on that scale?
I'm going to go with 3.5 as well.
Okay.
I feel like this movie is pretty close to goddamn perfect.
Pretty goddamn close, but guess
Man,
what?
I mean,
we reached deep. Were we right, guys? No, this is a 2-star movie.
Damn it!
Yet again,
This is another middle-of-the-road mediocre film.
Fight Club is
Fight
the most,
Club is the most frankly and cheerfully fascist big star movie since Death Wish.
What?
A celebration of violence in which the heroes write themselves a license to drink, smoke, screw, and beat one another up.
I felt like Fight Club was kind of criticizing that. But
Sometimes, for variety, they beat up themselves. It's macho porn, the sex movie Hollywood has been moving towards for years, in which eroticism between the sexes is replaced by all-guy locker room fights.
What?
Women who have had a lifetime of practice of dealing with little boy posturing will instinctively see through it. Men may get off on the testosterone rush. The fact that it's very well made and has a great first act certainly clouds the issue.
damn it.
So I guess those 2 stars come
God,
from the first act.
Hollywood just fucking constantly is pulling the wool over my eyes and convincing me shit's good
I
when
know.
actually it sucks. I mean, I thought the whole time that like Fight Club was criticizing this mentality and was showing how like this bubbling frustration in society could be used to manipulate people into joining some kind of crazy cult organization.
Right.
I mean, kind of like being a prescient film that predicted the rise of things like the alt-right movement and shit, but
I also had this idea that it was
Yeah.
also a deeper examination of the flaws of personality and the way that people can have two faces and two intentions sometimes.
Right, but
the duality
we
of
thought,
man. And
but we were
all
just
of that.
reading all this shit into it when in fact it's just like
Total
it's just
dog
a
shit.
bunch of masturbatory violence in the men's locker room.
There's a lot of great social commentary as well on convenience and consumerism. And
No,
how,
it isn't.
And how people try to fill those voids in their life, and just how people just treat things disposably.
Well, you were trying to read too much into a little boy's jerk off fantasy.
I'm
Scotty.
sorry, a fascist fantasy.
Once again,
Yay, fascism!
I mean, do you want to pull up the fucking scoreboard again so that people can take a peek? We're not doing well, fellas.
God.
Well, we got a lot of films left
trying.
to go, so I mean, it's not too bad
Sure.
yet.
I mean,
whatever.
but it's not a strong start.
Yeah,
We're over budgeting these films.
the closest any of us have gotten so
All
far
right,
has
guys.
been Scotty.
You know what? We might have to fucking just say the next one is a 2, regardless how we feel, because maybe then we'll tie.
No,
the
that's
favorite.
not how we play the game. We have to go with our gut, Scotty.
What
We
if
have
my
to
gut
go
says 2?
With our gut.
What if my gut says
If your
2?
gut says
Paul?
2, then say 2.
All right, there you go.
We got it all on UHF.
So this is a movie. A lot of people might not be familiar with it. It's a
it's
little
a
bit of
weird
an
little movie.
underground.
Yeah.
I don't
cult
know,
film.
dude. Weird Al is pretty popular. I think a lot of
Yankovic,
people have probably checked this out in the intervening years. But whatever. Even if they haven't, fuck them. This movie is one of the best fucking comedies ever committed to screen. I mean, it's just like funny throughout the film. It plays with different kinds of humor. There's stupid jokes. There's smart jokes.
Slapstick, dude. There's almost everything.
Yeah, I mean, like it covers so many. There's black comedy. I mean, it's just like all over the fucking map. But it's still a cohesive thing. It's not like a masterpiece or anything. But as far as like screwball kind of crazy comedy movies go, it's like really at the top.
And
of that
it's
fucking
ambitious
genre.
too.
Yeah.
Like visually, sonically ambitious. It plays around with a lot of conventions, and it's a really one of a kind movie.
The way it lampoons the culture is actually done super effectively. Which like a lot of times parodies can be super cringy or.
Ham-fisted.
Not hit the mark at all.
It's actually a kind of a time capsule for a bygone era of
Right.
entertainment.
And it feels like it really was like Weird Al taking what he could do musically in lampooning songs and doing it to Hollywood and doing it to the movie industry. And it's just like he's just as adept in that realm as he was in the music realm. So it's like, how do you not love that?
Yeah.
To take this guy's brilliant fucking sense of humor and brilliant ability to show you how absurd something is, not by just stating it outright. I mean, I kind of view Weird Al as kind of like a critic in his own right, but he's showing you the flaws in a different way.
Weird Al's had some serious fucking staying power. And I
Oh,
mean,
God, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's still around.
I mean, he's still
Still
around.
doing his thing.
People are petitioning for him to do the Super Bowl show.
Dude, he's an all-around great guy, like a genuinely good human being, and this movie is no exception to that. Like it's really the perfect movie for him. It's almost a shame he just didn't do anything else with movies, really.
So ratings, fellas, what are we feeling? Who Scotty went first last time? I think I went first the first time. TJ,
I'll give
you
it-
lead this one off.
I'll give it 3 stars.
I agree with 3 stars.
3.
That's a 3 across the board. And I think that we're pretty fair there. And I think that we're probably going to nail it this time, guys. Let's
Half a
take a look.
star.
This is a-
Kaboom!
one.
God damn it!
This is a 1-star film.
We're suckers.
Somewhere there is an audience for UHF.
Here.
I have no doubt. And somewhere this weekend, someone may laugh at some of its attempts at humor. Weird Al Yankovic has had a lot of success with his parodies, songs, and music videos spinning off of Michael Jackson and other easy targets. But this is the dreariest comedy in many a month.
What?
A depressing slog through recycled comic formulas. Those who laugh at UHF should inspire our admiration. In these dreary times, we must treasure the easily amused.
Damn. Pwned.
I've-
Pwned from beyond the grave.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody miss the mark harder on film. I'm sorry to break kayfabe for a moment.
God damn you, I've been trying to get you to
Sorry.
break kayfabe the whole time. Now you're going to do it?
I'm sorry, this is the one that did it. That was just such a brain dead
Can we just
statement
drop
on
it
this film.
outright then?
Yeah,
and
let's
start
do that.
Okay, thank you.
Can I reveal that I hate this man with every fiber of my being, and I think he's a retard? I intentionally selected every one of these films because I know them to be wrong, and we're gonna roast this fat, apple-smoked, cancerous pig for the next fucking hour.
Probably more with all these
This is the
films.
dumbest, most brain-dead review that we've gotten to yet.
And it's completely wrong. And so
Yeah, well, he totally misses that it's supposed to be a retread of
Yes.
old comic formulas because it's making fun of Hollywood, which is constantly spitting out bullshit.
It's a subversive film. Because like I agree with you entirely. At the surface, yeah, you can see there is comic formulas, and it does feel like a paint by the numbers movie. But watch the actual film and tell me you come away with that impression.
Well, one of the patterns that I noticed in pulling for this episode was that Roger Ebert either doesn't get or violently doesn't like any kind of subversion in movies. If a movie is subversive, he's gonna fucking hate it. What's next, TJ?
The next movie is Die Hard.
Oh
Hard.
shit, dude! The
This is
ultimate
a
Christmas
badass
movie.
movie.
I love this fucking movie, dude.
Who doesn't love
And
this
this
movie?
is actually Alan Rickman. Bill and Liz, this is his first.
Dude,
big
this is
film.
like a movie.
Imagine this being your
Okay,
first
so
big
look,
Hollywood break, dude.
There's movies out there that I really love that if people don't like them, I can understand.
Sure.
Like, you know what?
Yeah.
You don't like that movie? I understand. There's some weird shit or whatever. But Die Hard is one of those movies that if it's like if I'm talking to someone and my esteem for them is at like, I don't know, a 7 or something, and they say like, man, Die Hard sucks.
Yeah.
That esteem's going into like a 2.
Yeah, you're like you say.
He's like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm writing you off as a human
You say
being
Die
forever.
Hard 2 sucked or like Die Hard 3 sucked, like. Or
I'll hear you out, but one.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah,
gonna
what?
say that the original Die Hard sucks, you're a fucking
You're fucking
retard.
wrong, dude.
You're just stupid. You're just a
one of the
contrarian
best
moron at that
action
point.
movies.
I mean, it's a
slash
masterclass
Christmas
action
Okay, so
movie.
let's just, you know what?
Great fucking
Hey,
dialogue.
guy in the comment section typed, it's all subjective. Fuck you. Yeah, of course it is. It's all
That's the
subjective.
But you're subjectively wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I am saying that my subjective worldview and your subjective worldview at that point are so incongruent that fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, it really is a
We're
good...
not even the same species anymore.
It's a good canary in the coal mine, because, yeah, if I ever met somebody that tried to shit on this movie, I'd be like, okay,
But
I
you know
probably
what?
have very little in common with them.
I can't even think of a time it's happened. I cannot. I can think of every movie. Like I can think of people the movies I love that'll just shit on. I cannot think of a single fucking person I've ever met, heard of, or seen. And I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure they'll come out of the woodwork now. But organically, throughout the course of my life, I have never heard a disparaging fucking word about fucking Die Hard.
Well, you better get ready, TJ. But
God
let's
damn
give
it.
it our
Oh,
let's
God.
give it our fucking rankings first. I give this a 3.5 all day.
Agree. 3.5 easy, dude. I mean, yeah, I would give it a 3.5.
I'm gonna be more generous.
You're gonna go 4.
I'm
on
gonna
this
give
one
it
too?
a fucking perfect 4.
I don't. I won't fucking.
I'm one of
argue.
those people that I had to have very few 4s or
Yeah,
10s
for
or
me, a
whatever.
4 is gonna be like a rarity. But I get you.
I'm sorry. Well, hold on. If we're gonna look at this, I mean, like, how are you judging it? Against all films or as an action film? Because
I'm doing.
find me a more perfect fucking action film than Die Hard.
I would do it against all film. I would look at the action element as a subgenre.
Well, I'm
of
saying
that.
if you're gonna make an action film,
right.
you be I mean, like, I don't see how it could be done much better.
That actually lines up with something that I read that I didn't include in the research that Ebert said. He said that when it comes to the stars, he tried to not give them based on just whether he liked the movie, but what the movie was intended to be, what it set out to try and accomplish, and how much of that accomplished.
I mean, Die Hard 100% executes every single thing that it tried to accomplish. I think it's a 4-star fucking film myself.
Well, you're wrong. It's a 2-star film, TJ.
What a dumb twat.
The idea has a certain allure to it. A cop is trapped inside a high-rise with a team of desperate terrorists. He is all that stands between them and their hostages. Give the terrorist leader brains and a personality, make one of the hostages an estranged wife of the cop, and you've got a movie. The name of the movie is Die Hard, and it stars Bruce Willis in another one of those Hollywood action roles where the hero's shirt is ripped off in the first reel, so you can see how much time he's been spending in the gym. Little fat salt there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Tired of being flaunting all these male. He really seems to take issue with anything like with men who are attractive. Because I mean, he kind of had that same criticism with fucking Fight Club, like, oh, it's all male eroticism and all these fucking sexy men looking better than
take
me.
your shirt off. I can't take my shirt off. Fuck you.
I don't look good without my shirt on.
It's like the mind blowing thing here is, I mean, Roger Ebert is obviously an intelligent guy, but his reviews are always very superficial to me. It's like he's just explaining the film in the most general
I will
terms.
say-
And I understand it's for a larger audience, and he's.
I will say
obviously
one thing.
cognizant
I'll
of
say
that.
one thing good about Roger Ebert, even at this point in the episode. I don't agree with the reviews he's writing, but they are very well written.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
He was definitely a master
He was
craftsman,
he was a great writer.
but with stupid opinions.
Right.
I mean, this is very succinct. It's very to the point, but it's very well written. I
I mean, well,
completely agree
it
with
goes
you.
on, but I mean, like,
A lot of this one
he
is
just
just-
had a way with words that not many people really are fucking gifted with.
No, I mean,
This is true.
there's a reason why he made the big bucks and was a big time film.
There's a
critic.
reason why he won the fucking Pulitzer.
I mean,
So-
it was good even in Red Record speaking. I mean, him and Gene Siskel, like we showed before. I mean, he was a good public speaker. He had a wit about him. He had, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you even see that. Like, I completely agree with you here.
But
I don't
man,
agree with
he
his
didn't have a
assessment of the
fucking
film.
clue what was a good movie. Well, that's not true either. I didn't pull. There's a lot of movies that we would agree with Roger.
Right.
Ebert
I mean,
on.
Yeah.
look, I remember when I was younger, I was a big Roger Ebert fan. And, you know, I felt like a lot of his reviews were spot on and spoke to how I felt about a film.
Like
But,
the Deuce Bigelow 2 review. That
I
he
mean, yeah,
wrote.
I mean, there were some great ones.
But there are just so many of these glaring blind spots in his reviews.
Right.
That
There's
it
so many
bears-
films that are just excellent, of great quality, have survived the test of time, have become classics or cult classics that he just absolutely shits on, underestimates, and, you know, it just does not give a fucking fair shake at all. This one here is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
pretty universally loved amongst everybody that I've talked about it with.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to show it to some people who did not care for it, but they were all idiots, so whatever.
This is
Sure.
like this is one of those films where it's like you just buckle up and go along for the ride because it's one of the
Well, you got no choice.
and it's just frenetic and it's all over the place and you, like I mean from start to finish and when the movie ends, I remember the first time I watched it, it's like
It's a movie that really
over
makes
now.
you feel like you're on the drugs. Like every drug is portrayed, everything is shot in such a way where you fucking really feel the effect of the drug on your
Oh, yeah.
perception. Like it just captures that so fucking.
It manages
wonderfully.
to be like a wacky, drug-fueled nightmare escapade and a profound look at the 1960s and 70s, and you know, a look at the drug culture that sprung up around all of those things. It's a really brilliant movie. Based on a brilliant novel by a brilliant man who's in the film or portrayed in the film by Johnny Depp in one of my favorite roles.
Who
I'm not-
actually studied with Hunter S. Thompson for the role.
and it shows. I mean, it's a fucking performance that's amazing. Benicio del Toro plays Dr. Gonzo in it. He's
Also great.
absolutely fundamentally amazing in the movie. It's just a
Oh, guys, do you know nacho fries are back?
oh,
Wow.
dude, I'm going after the
Sweet,
fucking
dude.
show. Yeah, it's just a movie chock full of memorable scenes. I mean, we could just sit here all night and rattle off the bar scene
Yeah,
where
but we
everybody
got a lot
turns
of
into
movies to go
lizards.
through. Oh, that was great.
I mean, so let's get some ratings, guys.
Let me see. This is a tough one.
I think I'm going to break the mold and go 4 stars on this one.
Okay.
I don't think I would change a frame of this movie. I really don't. I really love it from start to finish. I think it's a total package.
Yeah, this is a great movie. I'm trying to think if there's any reason to not give it 4 stars. I mean, look, I guess that for some people this movie can be inaccessible, but for me, for my money, I don't know. It's great. 4 stars.
All right, you know what? I got to buck the trend here. I'm gonna have to go 3.5 stars.
Hey, that's fine. I think that's a fair rating, but we're all wrong. This is a 1-star film.
What?
Excuse me.
1 star.
1 fucking star for
Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Wait, hold on. No, shut up for a second.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, Jane. Sorry, Jane.
1 star? I mean,
Yes.
that's just dishonest.
Yes, 1 star.
It's I mean, like, you have to, you have to at least admit it's well shot, right? And it's fucking dynamic and interesting. I mean, like, even if you don't resonate with the film, you got to give it at least some technical achievement stars, you piece of shit.
Well, why don't you listen to a Pulitzer Prize winner, TJ? The result
down,
is a
TJ.
horrible mess of a movie without shape, trajectory, or purpose. A one-joke movie, if it had one joke. The 2 characters wander witlessly past the bizarre backdrops of Las Vegas, some real, some hallucinated, all interchangeable, while zonked out of their minds.
But that's the point.
Humor depends on attitude. Beyond a certain point, you don't have an attitude, you simply inhabit a state. I've heard a lot of funny jokes about drunks and druggies, but these guys are stoned beyond comprehension, to the point where most of their dialogue could be paraphrased
Won't you
as,
clutch some fucking
"Eh?"
pearls, Roger Ebert? Come
Yeah.
on.
So he wasn't a druggie, and he didn't like that there was drug humor in the movie, so it's a 1-star film.
But not only that, it's like they wander from place. But that's the whole point, is that they're tripping on like they're not aware of what's going on around them, and when they do become aware, it's their perception is totally altered from reality.
It's supposed to be about how lost they are after the fucking idealism of the '60s crumbled, right?
Just a one-note movie without a joke.
No, I mean, like, that's not right.
One-note movie without a joke, TJ.
One-note movie without a joke.
If it had a joke.
Frenzied hyperbole, TJ.
Wow. Fuck Roger Ebert in the ass until he is dead.
Well, let's move on, TJ, to another...
Wait a minute. This isn't right.
Uh-oh.
Something getting
Ruh-roh, TJ.
moved out of here. Okay, that's just in the wrong order for some reason.
Fine.
Here we go.
We can go back to it. It's fine.
We'll just go back.
Alice.
Wait. Oh, it looks like I actually didn't. Hulk is supposed to be next.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just skip it. We got a ton of fucking
whatever.
movies.
There's enough.
He liked the first Hulk movie that sucked shit with Eric Bana.
Yeah. By the way, if you just want a quick recap on that,
It sucked.
1 star.
It sucks.
Yeah, 1 star, maybe 1.5 stars.
Yeah.
This is Alice in Wonderland.
Alice.
Tim Burton's woeful retread of the beloved fairy tale, co-opted by Disney. Raped utterly by Disney and Tim Burton, and the man that you see before you is the Mad Hatter, who is somehow the centerpiece of this.
Because he's Johnny Depp.
Because he's Johnny Depp, and putting Johnny Depp in a little blue dress and blonde pigtails probably wasn't going to fly.
This is when I saw this Johnny Depp performance. This was when I really am just like, Johnny Depp's kind of over, huh? Like, there's no more Johnny. Like, the Johnny Depp that was once cool and admired is just pretty much gone.
I've got to be honest with you. I've always been hit or miss with Johnny Depp.
Right. Well, lately it's been all miss.
And I agree with that. Yeah, he has been. This movie is pretty abysmal.
It's totally commercial.
Oh my god.
I've seen it once. It is a cavalcade of
I've
just
seen
like
it twice.
Like, it's the type of movie that you would hear pretentious people call visually stunning because it's just a puke of constant CGI and nonsense.
It's CGI overload. The magic of the Alice in Wonderland adaptation from Disney. But here's the thing. It's like
they tried to make Wonderland have rules and shit.
Yeah, it's always,
and they made it about some dumb war, like every other fucking stupid.
Here's
fantasy
the problem.
movie.
Here's the problem with this, and it's the problem that so many people fucking forget, and it's that less is more, and the original worked better on that principle. This is just trying to explain away all the magic.
Let's suck
all the magic out.
Wonderland, in like the original books and in the original Disney film and all that shit, was always a place of chaos that made no sense, and that was the point of it. And then they tried to make rules for it and tried to give it like an overarching narrative and shit. It's
rename this place Blunderland, dude. This is not fucking Wonderland.
Well, they did rename it. They said in the movie it's called Underland.
Oh my god.
That's why. That's why I was. That was. The
I
joke.
didn't remember that.
Mm-hmm. Alan Rickman's like, you kept calling it Wonderland.
Well, let's give some ratings to this dog turd of a
movie. All
movie.
right, so I wanted, my gut instinct is like 0, but I
can do that.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go half a star.
Half a star.
Because I do remember there being brief little glimmers of enjoyable moments in this movie.
Remember retarded
scattered
dance
about
he was gonna do at the end, dude?
The fucking
God.
Yeah, the futter whacking or whatever.
Jabberwocky.
No, that was the monster.
What was it fucking called?
I think it was called the futter whacking.
The futter whacking.
Who cares? Whatever. It sucks.
It's some stupid dance he does.
So I give it half a star. What about you, Scotty?
Half a star.
I'm not gonna be so bleak. I'll give it a star because it's a movie.
Okay. Give it
but we're all wrong. This is a 3-star film.
What?
3 stars. Tim Burton's new 3D version of Alice in Wonderland answers my
He really does just hate everything that's subversive and like everything that's just pap.
Yep.
Okay.
This has never been a children's story. There's even a little sadism embedded in Carol's fantasy. It reminds me of uncles who tickle their nieces until they scream. What? I think that's just a masturbatory fantasy of yours, Roger. Wow, I didn't even read this. I'm uncomfortable. Should I keep going?
Keep going, I guess.
Let's see where he goes with that.
Things were said about Lewis Carroll, so.
Alice plays better as an adult hallucination, which is how Burton rather brilliantly interprets it, as a pointless third act flies off the rails. It's a wise idea by Burton and his screenwriter, Linda Wolverton, to devise a reason that Alice, Miowa Kakowska, is now a grown girl in her late teens, revisiting a Wonderland that remains much the same as fantasy worlds must always do. No, it does not. Listen to that.
It doesn't.
As fantasy worlds must always do.
What? No.
he has some kind of fucking internal rules for what fantasy worlds can be.
Oh, God.
And he's judging movies by that. And that sentiment led him to give Alice in Wonderland, Tim Burton's fucking nightmarish,
doesn't even
undefendable piece of shit, 3 stars.
Doesn't even meet that criteria,
No, it doesn't.
Because it does change Wonderland, and it changes it for the worse.
Burton is above all a brilliant visual artist, and his film is a pleasure to regard. I look forward to admiring it in 2D, where it will look brighter and more colorful. So he went and saw this in 3D at the first to review it, and didn't see it in 2D before the review was done. No artist can who can create these images is enhancing them in any way by adding the annoying third dimension. But never mind that. Okay, so he didn't like 3D movies,
right?
But he, 3 stars is like, it's not fucking one of the Hall of Greats, but this is a good movie. Hey, go see it.
Ugh.
Strong recommendation.
Ugh. I mean, he was close to death at this point. We can chalk.
I don't give him a pass for that because we'll see. It the era doesn't matter.
Taking an eminently memorable and original film,
so let's just
the 1951 version, and then just fucking shitting out this commercial fucking path.
Gonna update you guys on what's going on here. Give you guys a little glimpse at the chart so far. No one's landed on the Ebert rating yet.
I mean, none of us have really even gotten close to it.
Scotty got within 1
We've
star.
all been outside of a point. So
Scotty got 1 point away.
Right,
on,
that's what I mean.
Fight Club.
Nobody's got within a half point of Ebert ever.
God damn it.
All right, so let's take a look at our next movie. This is Speed 2: Cruise Control. One of the most doggedly horrible sequels to what was a fundamentally fantastic action film.
Yes, with a great concept.
Speed, which was the name of the movie, the fundamental central driving force of the first movie, and they take a second movie and call it Speed 2: Cruise Control, and it's on boats.
Oh, God, the ending
It's
of that
on
movie.
a slow-ass cruise ship.
The ending of that fucking
How
movie
do you call that
is
speed?
idiotic. It's one of the most idiotic fucking sequels I've ever seen.
Oh, my God.
Relegated to fucking made-for-TV. And it's almost like a made-for-TV movie.
Keanu Reeves is not back.
Wisely on his part.
No sense. But, I mean, it makes sense from a
career standpoint, it made sense.
If I was Keanu Reeves, I'd have take one look at that script and be like,
I remember
it's on
when
a
it came
boat?
out. So,
No.
Speed 1, you have Dennis Hopper. You have a fucking crazy fucking gimmicky premise that works. Like, what was it? The bus couldn't go below like 50,
60 miles an hour.
60 miles per
That
hour.
was 50, but all right, whatever.
Whatever.
Whatever. There was a speed it couldn't go
This
past.
was a total fucking
under.
cash-in fucking film. That's nothing. It also has nothing to do with the original. I mean, there's a few cursory
Other than
nods.
the fact that she's in it, which somehow she ends up wrapped up in yet another crazy terrorist plot. It's a horrible, abysmal attempt at leeching off of the success of a genuinely good movie.
Fuck about the Legos movie, goddammit.
It's terrible. But, yeah, so...
okay, well, it's worth it for that screenshot.
Yeah, that's a good screenshot.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe could have... I mean, Willem Dafoe can be good in anything. He just isn't given the opportunity to be often, and in this movie, he's given no
I thought it was so stupid. It annoyed me so much the first time I saw this movie, and it annoys me to this day. They made him a character who's terminally ill, who's going to die in like 6 months.
Right.
So it's like, even when they kill him at the end, it's like, well, could have just waited 6 months.
Could have just waited it out.
Yeah. If anything, that was a mercy killing, whatever.
So let's give some stars, gentlemen.
This
is a half-star movie if I've ever seen one. So just
easy.
chalk me up to a half-star.
I'm gonna go lower.
It doesn't even get my respect as having tried. And
I can't think of a single thing I liked about it. 0 stars.
Wow. Well, we are all wrong yet again. I'm shocked. This is a 3-star film.
3 stars?
Yes.
I don't know how.
Hey, TJ.
What
Listen.
did you like about it?
He's going to tell you. I love the summertime. I love strolling down Michigan Avenue on a balmy June evening past the tourists and the shoppers and the lovers and the people dawdling on their way home from work. And I love going into a theater for a sneak preview of a summer movie and buying popcorn and settling. Here's what he liked.
A sneak fucking preview of this.
A chainsaw. Here are the things he liked about it. A chainsaw. An explosive device with red digital readout that nobody will ever be able to see. One that is concealed inside a fake golf club. A villain who travels with jars of leeches to suck the copper poisoning from his blood. A sweet girl and her lover on a Caribbean cruise. He just happens to be a member of an LAPD SWAT team.
Can we stop?
Yep, we can.
That's hideous.
We can stop.
What does any of that have to do with whether it was a good movie or not?
This is he.
None
That's
of
what
the-
that's what he liked about it.
Like-
He liked that it was just a big old popcorn flick. He thought it was good action. Remember, this is the dude that gave Die Hard 2 stars. Die Hard is a 2-star film. Speed 2, 3 stars. Half again as good as Die Hard. Definitely a strong recommendation versus a middling action film.
God fucking damn it.
I want to throw up reading shit like this, and I wish I could tell you it gets better, but it actually gets worse as we go.
It doesn't get better. It gets worse.
It just cascades. This is
The Usual Suspects.
now. How do you? Some people don't like this movie, and I've heard this is probably the more divisive movie that I think we've put up. Because I see people that really love this movie. I'm in that camp.
Me too.
And then I see people that really don't like this movie. Think
love
it's
it.
cheesy.
I mean, it's a Rashomon effect movie. It's really as far as like movies in that vein where you have all the story told from all these different perspectives. It's really a good film, and I think it really holds up. And I mean, it's very memorable.
It is very built towards its final climactic twist.
Yeah.
Which is the big criticism that you hear of it. I don't think that matters because it works.
Yeah, first of all, it's one of the best twists ever. Right. Second of all, even without the twist, you still have a solid crime film.
Right.
So
in terms of stars, what do you guys think about The Usual Suspects here?
3 stars all day.
3 stars all day. I respect that, Scotty.
3.
3 stars all day. I'm gonna go one bigger, just based on Spacey's performance in the film, and give it 3.5. I think it was transcendent.
Paul, we have to ask you to leave the room now.
Let me
Oh, I'm
guess.
sorry.
Let me guess. Ebert hated it. Okay, 1.5 stars.
1.5 star film.
Oh.
The first time I saw The Usual Suspects was in January at the Sundance Film Festival, and then I began to lose track of the plot. I thought it maybe was because I'd seen too many movies that day. Some of the other members of the audience liked it, and so when I went to see it again in July, I came in armed with a notepad and a determination not to let crucial plot points slip by me. Once again, my comprehension began to slip, and I finally wrote down, to the degree that I do understand, I don't care. I'll just stop there.
I think I've kind of gleaned something from Roger Ebert from what we've heard so far, and I think when maybe it was genuine, and maybe he was cognizant of this, but I think if you look at the average American moviegoer from the time period that he's writing from to now, there's a lot of people that like really shitty bad films, but not in a way of I like schlock, in a way where there's self-awareness to it. Like they just like bad films, they like bad movies. I think Roger Ebert saw this as a movie that a lot of people are probably going to see as what the fuck is this?
I love how Scotty keeps calling him Roger Ebert, dude.
It's just
Am I?
Yeah, you keep going Roger Ebert.
Oh, whatever. Roger Ebert.
There you go.
I really, I guess I was doing it, but I feel that he's just kind of playing to that, or maybe that is just him. Maybe there's maybe inside that giant fat man.
Are you saying that you think there's
there's a seed of that, the
what? Same way that
I'm the salt of the earth film critic. I'm like the everyman's film critic.
You ever there's certain black people that'll I'm a super conservative black dude that's gonna say the shit that white people can't get away with, so that white people can watch my show and be like, yeah,
yeah, of course.
So you think Ebert is kind of he's just spouting the idiot opinion, but in a well-written, clever enough way that people feel like their terrible film opinions are being validated by him or something?
Yeah. I think it might be possible that he was just maybe an industry shill, too.
That's possible, too.
But
he really does seem to like
every
it.
movie, so I don't know how you'd prove that. I read a lot of Ebert's reviews to do this, and
didn't he review over 13,000 films personally? Or something?
I mean, it's something like that. It's some absurd.
I don't think that. I mean, maybe. I think a lot of times it was just he saw these movies, and he's just one of those people that enjoyed shit like that. He saw Speed 2 and was like, "This is a fun movie. I like it."
I once again think that this one was victim to his dislike of subversion of audience expectation. He didn't like that it pulled a twist on him. He didn't like that the plot was told in a patchy way and didn't come together toward the end. He didn't like that he was fooled. He likes rote shit that he can go in and watch and go oh, the bad guy's gonna lose and blah, blah, blah. I knew what was gonna happen. I'm so smart. But when a movie's smarter than him, it's a 1.5 star movie.
Fuck this movie.
Spoon feed me the plot.
Starship Troopers.
Four.
One close to Scott. Go ahead and mark it down.
Scotty's just like,
I was about to say, but I don't even need to say it.
Fucking 4, dude.
This is a hard 4 for Scotty.
A very hard
very
4.
hard 4.
A throbbing, veiny 4 from Scotty.
I mean, and the image you picked. I mean, guys,
I know.
it's
I'm
hard.
Yeah, I know.
I'm hard.
It is
the
the
most hard.
lava bug, Scotty. The one.
God,
you
why
want.
did you guys have to do this to me?
The one you want.
I'm blushing
most,
now.
Scotty. The one you want most.
Here you go. I'll take it off the
All
screen.
right.
for
Well,
you.
okay. Oh, humans.
Now it's just disgusting humans
Ugh.
for you to look at.
We recently talked about this, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Scotty picked it as one of his underrated gems. I mean, so we don't have to go too far, as far maybe with this one, but a really great movie, subversive, crazy.
What is this?
Over the top for a
It's
reason.
Like Premiere photos.
Yeah, Premiere.
Get
Yeah,
out of here.
you can't. Some of these don't have very many pictures.
Right,
So,
roger that.
but yeah, just a great like comedy action flick with a great message.
For some reason, they felt the need to include every
Why are you
DVD
dude,
cover.
your ADD is
possible.
kicking in. People are watching this.
I know.
Slow the fuck down.
Well, I'm trying to get back to a decent one.
Chill the fuck out.
All right, then I'll go back to actual movie shots. All right.
So anyway, Scotty's already thrown down his rating. I'd go 3.5 on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little less generous and say 3.
All right, fair enough.
I think it's
We're a little divided, but I mean, look, we're all within a point of each other.
I think
on
it's
this.
good. I
We
think
all
it's good.
agree that's a good.
This should be a
good
4
movie.
from Roger Ebert.
Let me guess, 1.5.
No, this is a 2-star film.
Okay, well, whatever.
Starship
This guy must
Troopers
be out of his fucking mind.
is
dude.
the most violent kiddie movie ever made. I call it a kiddie movie not to be insulting, but to be accurate. Its action, characters, and values are pitched at 11-year-old science fiction fans. That makes it true to its source. It's based on a novel for juveniles by Robert A. Heinlein. I read it to the
Pretty
point
sure
of
that was not
memorization.
considered a young adult novel, but okay.
Well, he read it to the point of memorization when
Where's
I was
your
in
Pulitzer
grade
Prize,
school.
TJ?
I have improved since then, but the story has not.
Damn. Bitch slapped.
Wow.
Bitch slapped.
So there you go, Scotty. How do you feel? How do you feel
Let me
to see
put you-
Starship
He
Troopers
must have forgotten
given a
the book that he
middling-
had from memorization
Yeah.
because it's not really the movie and the book are not really that close to each other in terms of plot.
Look,
so.
in this movie, they have a bug that's aptly named the brain bug, and that fucking bug should be like the leading scientists should stop every like cancer research, disease research. We should do nothing but like work on creating that bug, and at the same time, work on creating a clone of Roger Ebert. So when those two things successfully come to fruition, and I'm saying all society should be put effort into this. Like everything should be halted for these things to happen. Roger was brought before this bug that was just a fictional CGI bug, and have his brain fucking sucked violently from his fucking worthless fucking skull. Fuck this idiot.
Wow. Enough said. What's next up on the plate? Oh,
Cop and a... Oh, wait.
yeah, this is Cop and a Half, yeah.
Cop and a Half.
Is that? Oh, yeah. Cop and a Half. This is a
Cop and a Half.
Now, a lot of our audience probably has never seen this.
I don't even barely remember this.
I've seen
but
this before.
I'm familiar enough to give it a rating. I remember
it's
a
an
bit.
old '80s comedy. There's really not much to know about it. You can tell everything from the thing. It's a
Yeah.
cop that is somehow assigned to some kind of outreach program where he's got
Yeah,
to
it's
take
actually
a kid with him.
'93. This came. I think this came out to compete with Kindergarten Cop.
I mean, yeah, there was a glut of these like,
What have I done with my career?
yeah.
So basically, Burt Reynolds needs money, and
I heard Roger Ebert, actually, I'm going to steal this from him, describing another movie that I didn't put on this list. This is a one's-a movie. He calls them one's-a movies. One's a cop, one's a kid. One's a scientist, one's a Navy SEAL.
I agree with
that's
that.
kind of clever.
So, yeah. So stealing that from him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give this 0 stars.
Yeah.
I agree.
It is pretty fucking devoid of anything.
There's nothing good about
yeah,
this.
no.
It's
0 stars.
there's no style. There's no substance. It's just a movie.
So
There's
zeros
nothing-
across the
nothing there.
board. Yeah, it's
There's
garbage.
nothing there.
It's sheer
garbage.
unwatchable garbage.
It's just
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
What?
actually a 3-star film.
Cop and a Half, 3 fucking stars. Get
It's actually
the
a
fuck out of
3-star
here.
film. I'm
Get
sorry.
the fuck out of here. What was he? And he wasn't into drugs or smoking or
Oh,
drinking.
this is
Was
where
he-
I got the
Actually,
one.
you did get the
inebriated?
quote from this.
Okay, yeah. Cop and a Half is a cheerful example of the One's-a movie, so named because of the popular
What's a fucking
formula.
stupid?
As in, one's a cop and one's a robber, or in this case, one's a cop, one's a 8-year-old kid. You can almost hear the high pitch being made in a producer's office as the possibilities are discussed. There isn't much that's original in Cop and a Half.
None.
But there's a lot that's entertaining.
Wrong.
Such as what?
And there's a winning performance by a young man with a big name, Norman D. Golden II, who went on to do absolutely nothing, who plays this little Devin Butler, a kid who dreams of someday wearing the shield. He loved this movie. See, another example of fucking Ebert just pouring praise all over Pap. This is a total Pap film, not even a kiddie film, because kids would be bored by it.
Dude, I remember watching this as a kid
And be like, huh?
and being like,
Bored.
Dude, it was like, I think this might have actually been the movie when I realized that ripoffs are a thing, because I'm like, this is just like pretty much the same as Kindergarten Cop, but not as good.
Just bored. Just a boring film. I don't know where he's getting this exciting funniness.
This is like Burt Reynolds gets a call from his agent. It's
Dude.
like, you gotta take the film. You're not gonna make the fucking mortgage unless you fucking take this role.
Kindergarten Cop is way better than this
Dude,
movie, and I'd probably give that one like 2 stars.
Didn't it even kind of steal the cover from Kindergarten Cop? Not
Yeah, I mean, the whole movie is just a ripoff.
kind of like the font they have there and shit.
Oh yeah,
it's
there was a lot of this type of shit in the 90s, but it is kind of just a lift of that same bullshit. And
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
it's
this came
bad.
before fucking Kindergarten. I don't know. You're a Kindergarten Cop, but
I don't know.
I can just tell you that this movie sucks.
Would you compare that
I'm the
one?
potty
When you compare
pooper.
apples and oranges here,
Similar
that
concepts.
one's a 2-star film, and this one is a shitty piss poor knockoff of a 2-star film.
Yeah, even if it came first, it's not.
Right.
It's whatever. It's garbage. I hate
Right.
it. I hate it so much.
So yeah, Cop and a Half, total dog shit, and 3-star dog shit.
1990 was Kindergarten Cop, TJ. So
Yeah,
definitely.
this
Okay,
was
so
a
yeah,
ripoff.
well, whatever.
Whatever. The happening.
This is the happening.
This is a laughably bad
Oh
movie.
my god.
This is a woefully bad film.
we're just here-
I mean,
we're
we're
just
talking
here,
like
God.
career low performances from Mark Wahlberg and from what is her name, Zooey Deschanel or whatever.
Dude, the most exciting characters in the movie are the plants.
I mean, I'll give it. This movie, I might actually say,
We don't mean you any harm.
in some places, especially the really hammy moments of Mark Wahlberg's performance, actually ventures a little bit to me into so bad it's good.
Yeah, I'm going to factor that into my review, but that's all there is.
That's about all
to
there
be
is to it.
gleaned from this film.
Yeah, I would give it a star on that basis.
Every
I guess.
once in a while, the overly hammy, inept performance of Mark Wahlberg
is actually funny as fuck.
Is funny.
Yeah.
No.
Unintentionally so.
I've used the what? No
Yeah.
drop so many times in my life that I gotta give it. I'll give it a star for that.
Sure.
I'm gonna give it a star.
All right, I'll piggyback on that and give it a star as well. Just for the fact that it has comedy
And what
value.
no one talks about is like at the end of this movie, the fucking so bad, ham-fisted environmentalist climate change
God,
message.
yes.
It's like
It's terrible.
it's the it's the fucking shit.
It's
fucking
beyond
cherry on top of the
ham-fisted,
shit
dude.
sundae.
It's terrible.
Half star
Half star
for the
from
memes.
Scotty.
For the memes and the lols.
Well, we're all off by a factor of at least 2. This is a 3-star film. And he begins his
With
review,
an Einstein quote,
Yes.
which I think is also in the movie. So
If the bee disappears from the surface of the earth, man will have no more than 4 years
4
to
years.
live.
I think it's
Albert
actually a
Einstein.
misattributed quote too.
An alarming prospect, and all the more so because there's been a recent decline in the honeybee population. Perhaps it's comforting to know that Einstein never said any such thing, less comforting, of course, for the bees. This quotation appears on a blackboard near the beginning of M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening, a movie that I find oddly touching. It is no doubt too thoughtful for the summer action season. I'm sorry, I can't keep going.
Dude, now
Wait,
it's
hold on.
lofty. Roger
How
Ebert.
the fuck is it too thoughtful for
dude?
any
Now
season?
it's the fucking lofty.
I mean,
Roger
it's
Ebert,
as
dude.
dumb
Right.
as a movie gets.
Right, so now when
Too
he's dealing with
lofty.
a dumb as bricks,
It's dumb as a doornail.
That's just too lofty.
I don't know.
Too lofty.
I guess that's supposed to be dead as a doornail, but it's that too on arrival. Yeah, this sucks. 3 stars for this.
3
okay.
stars for The Happening.
What? No.
1 star away from perfect.
No.
God damn it.
No, Paul.
Just one scant star away
Can you scroll
from
up?
perfect. What?
Dude, this should be the people
No.
looking at their fucking careers. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Unfortunately,
no.
Marky Mark went on to continue to have a pretty prosperous fucking career. I don't know how.
Dead. Okay, so I'm assuming at this point, so he hated Dead Poets Society. Is that what's going on? All right.
TJ,
You have to give your honest rating, TJ.
we're playing the man's game, and you agreed at the beginning. We're going all the fucking way, TJ.
Yep. Going all the way.
What's your
Okay.
rating for Dead Poet? You don't like
I'm not
this movie.
I'm not a great fan of it, but I respect it, and I'd say it deserves from me, even though the film doesn't completely work for me. I'll say 2.5 stars for it.
Okay. What about you, Scotty?
I'm kind of in the same boat as TJ with this one. I'll go 2.5.
All right. So you guys are actually breaking with me here. I think this is a 3.5 all day. I love this movie. This movie is so maudlin. It's so Paul's ego.
I can totally see some. That's why I give it 2.5 stars. Because
Fuck you!
It does. No, I mean,
You give me 2.5 stars?
No, what
I'll
I'm
give Paul 2.5
Let me
stars.
finish the fucking what I'm saying. I'm saying that I can totally see someone getting in this movie. It just didn't work for me on that level. But I respect it, and it's good filmmaking. It's good filmmaking fundamentals.
Well,
And good performance.
this is the
Great
closest that any of us have come to Ebert. You two, it's a 2-star film.
Oh, damn.
So not too far from old Ebert
Not
on
too
this
far
one.
from Ebert on this one.
Finally,
let's
half
see
a
if
star-
you agree with his sentiments here.
Okay.
Dead Poet Society is a collection of pious platitudes masquerading as a courageous stand in favor of something. Doing your own thing, I think. It's about an inspirational, unconventional English teacher, blah, blah, blah. Let me get to a conclusion. For much of the time, Williams does a good job of playing an intelligent, quick-witted, well-read young man, but then there are scenes in which his stage persona punctures the character, in which he does impressions of Marlon Brando and John Wayne doing Shakespeare.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I don't really agree.
I really
with
don't
the
agree with it. I mean, like,
I could see it. I could see him. I can kind of see the platitudes point, but I don't really see the Robin Williams shouldn't have done. He did too much Robin Williams shtick.
yeah, it's
I didn't
Robin
really
Williams.
get that sense at all.
Yeah, like, that was who he was.
and it
an
wasn't.
actor.
He didn't really do
A
that
comedian.
much in the movie, so I don't know. It just
No,
seems
and
really
to have
strange
Robin
me.
Williams playing a teacher who's supposed to be captivating these young boys and not take advantage of his ability to do uncanny impressions of people is stupid.
No, it makes it's
Because
illogical.
it's something that an English teacher that was similarly talented would do to keep these young
Yeah, I mean, I had
dudes
a
interested
great
in shit.
English teacher in like 8th grade that was really like funny and jokey and stuff, and like really kept things engaging on that level.
So that's why I love this movie, because I look at it, if anything, as a celebration of teaching and how much power and influence teachers have over the minds of young men. But apparently that's a 2-star film. But yeah, you guys are very close to him. I didn't know if we'd ever get within a 0.5 star of Ebert.
Well, I did.
And you guys both did.
Which makes me think I must be wrong about this. Maybe I'll fucking check it out again.
I don't know. Who knows, TJ? Who knows? Let's move on to our next movie.
Smeth to Ducci.
Yep.
Which we know this was on my underrated films list.
Right. So we just talked about this one at length. So refer
we
to
talked
that.
go back to the underrated films one if you want to hear an in-depth discussion of this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say
I love
3.5
this.
stars.
I love the image here, dude. 3.5 easy.
Yeah, I give it a 3.5. I'll go with you guys on this one. I love this movie so much.
Really smart, fucking
Really smart,
satire.
really funny, really dark.
Yeah, brilliant dark humor.
It's a pitch black comedy.
If anything, I think that it kind of doesn't stick the landing, and that might be what I'd subtract 0.5 star for, because I think it should have had a more cynical conclusion. But whatever. 0.5 star. Okay.
This is a 0.5 star film.
Half.
0.5 star.
Totally pans it then.
One, only enormously talented people could have made Death to Smoochie. Those with lesser gifts would have lacked the nerve to make a film so bad, so miscalculated, so lacking any connection with any possible audience.
I'm right here.
To make a film this awful, you have to have enormous ambition and confidence, and dream big dreams. The movie, directed by Danny DeVito, ! As if that's a fucking giant problem or
Dun
something.
dun dun.
Danny DeVito, the little dwarf dork from the movies, wants to direct. Ugh.
Gross.
is about two clowns that violates a cardinal rule of modern mass entertainment, which is that everyone hates clowns almost as much as they hate mimes.
I don't really think
What?
either
I don't
of them
think-
is clowns. So
I don't even want to go any further. He,
I mean,
he clearly.
Rainbow Randolph is like maybe clown-esque.
I have a theory about this half-star review, and I think it fits with one of our earlier reviews as well that he hated, UHF. He gave 1 star to UHF, a movie that was very critical of the film industry and the mass media industry. And here is yet another movie that's got a gun aimed right at the head of mass entertainment. And all of a sudden, it's just total pap. Don't watch it. Half a
It's
star.
about a couple clowns.
What a stinker. In reality, this is one of the best subversive comedies to come out of the early 2000s. Totally memorable performances out of the entire cast. Totally great. So, like, I think that he was butthurt.
Is anyone else feeling at this point, like, just demoralized by this
TJ,
terrible shit?
I've been, like, honestly, I've been living this bullshit for months doing this. Like, that's why
Not so bad, Paul.
I was so fucking hesitant to like finish this because it was just like slogging through a bunch of shit. I just want to grab his chinless old cancer-ridden ass out of the grave and strangle him to death again. Team America, World
Oh
Police.
my god, dude. America.
Fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah!
I mean, a brilliant movie, a use of puppets and claymation and that stop-motion shit.
I gotta take me a piss, y'all. Be right back.
Oh, fuck you. You've been sipping on that wine too hard, you bitch.
Shut up, you fat faggot.
But yeah,
Promise me you'll never die. I would never die. I mean, this movie is just totally quotable.
dude. Yeah.
It doesn't take anything seriously. It lampoons Hollywood and liberal talking points. It's just a really fun, interesting film. And it has a very 60s, I kind of feel like, in the way they present a lot of the characters. And it's kind of just all over. It feels very much like the creation of the creators from South Park. It has that total
I mean,
vibe
it gets points for creativity for me right off the bat.
Well, and using puppets, too. I mean,
right,
that's not,
using puppets and stop motion and shit to do an entire movie and committing to that look and actually making it work in a way that's interesting and
puppet
funny
sex even, dude.
and like holds up throughout the entire movie. I mean, it's great. And the way that they play on it and actually take advantage of the limitations of puppetry to make these funny kind of fight
You know what I
scenes that
find
are
about
not
this
all that
film,
epic.
too, is it's just so fucking memorable from start to finish, dude.
Yeah, once you've seen it, you're
Yeah,
not going to forget
you
it.
can quote.
No.
It only takes one viewing to be quoting lines from this fucking movie. I remember so well the songs, the America Fuck Yeah song, the I'm
Everyone
So
has
Lonely
AIDS.
song, the Everyone Has AIDS song. I remember when he hands him the hammer to commit suicide with. I remember the terrorists being like Durka Durka Jihad and all this shit. I mean, there's just so many things. The cats being used as like leopards or whatever the fuck.
right.
This house cats come out. All the fucking film actors that got Matt Damon. I mean, like, just fucking so many great classic fucking moments just stick with you. So fucking memeable, so fucking viral, such earworms, whatever the fuck you call it when it's a visual.
It also makes fun of some of the
audiovisual
film
equivalent of
cliches.
that.
Like, I'm so cool.
Oh yeah, well South Park does that great
The
as
fucking
well.
the tragic backstory of one of the people on Team America, dude. It's just it
kind of
everything's
purposefully
great.
offensive
Yeah,
and like
And it's a movie, by the way, I don't really even agree with its overarching message of like, sometimes America does have to be the big
Right.
swinging. I don't really agree with that, but
that doesn't mean
I
it's
love
a
the
bad
movie. It's a fun fucking movie, and it makes its points well.
So
not
what
even
would
a
you
movie
give-
I
What would
ideolo-
you give stars rating? Here?
I gotta give it a fuck. It's so unique. It's not. You can't even really give it a genre analogousness.
It's got to go with that gut.
it's
TJ.
super memorable. 3.5 stars.
3.5.
I feel like I'm being like super generous with these ratings at this point, but I think it's just because
Well,
I'm
a lot
just
of
like,
these
I'm
movies
kinda like
are really classic.
I
films.
find myself disturbingly trying to like underrate shit just to get a little closer to Roger, because I'm like, well, he's gonna hate it, so
Right.
I want to be closer to where he's at,
Three
even
and-
though I'm
3.5
despising him
stars.
at this point.
right.
3.5
So
stars.
I gotta ignore that
Yeah,
impetus.
I give it 2 stars just for the creativity, and then another star for being an actually funny, memorable movie. So 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're 3, and Scotty's 3.5.
Yep.
Okay.
We're all wrong, of course. This is a 1-star film.
Oh.
He starts it with a quote from Marlon Brando in The Wild One. What are you rebelling against, Johnny? What do you got? This dialogue is not inscribed over the doors of Trey Parker and Matt Stone. It should be. Their Team America World Police is an equal opportunity offender, and waves of unease will flow over first one segment of their audience and then another.
It sounds to me like
He was just offended by
It's
it.
the more moral outrage argument.
right,
Yep.
but I mean, like that to me is a positive review of the movie.
And another subversive movie, and another movie that aimed a lot of fucking barbs at the movie industry.
He's
and
literally
shit.
trying to turn it offends both sides of the political aisle into a negative. Like
Right.
everybody's offended, so it's bad.
Oh, it's the same thing when this. I'm sure if you pull the review of the South Park movie, he'd be doing the same thing. Juvenile humor.
Their strategy extends even to their decision to use puppets for all of their characters, a choice that will not be universally
Who
applauded.
cares?
Not even the truth, actually. It's one of the things that's the most memorable about the film. People will remember it if for anything. Oh, that puppet movie, that crazy fucking Kim Jong-il puppet. Yeah. So it was a brilliant fucking maneuver. He's just wrong. He's just the ass end of wrong again. Or we are. I mean, what else can I say? Like,
It's either him or it's us,
right?
You know. Oh,
What's
God.
next? I mean, look, dude. There's a light. I
Anna
know this.
fucking goddamn miserable cocksucking Conda is
Now,
next.
since this is a patron-only episode, and patrons can go and see our viewing of this entire
See the
movie,
review.
we don't need to go into too much depth over the dog shit that this film is. A 1-star. Yeah, I'll give it 1.
1.
It managed to make me laugh a
Look,
couple
there's
times
some.
or whatever.
Yeah, there's some child
something here.
Yeah, like the.
I found
Owen Wilson,
I found
dude.
John
Yeah,
Voight's.
Owen
Wilson,
Wilson's
dude, that's why-
perpetually lost
dude,
in
John-
stone
I love
performance.
John Voight's
Voight's-
over the top performance gets kind
Look,
of
there's-
half a star, and then maybe another half a star just from some so bad they're good moments.
Yeah,
for
dude.
me.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson wandering around the set like he literally doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
But no,
John
it's
Voight's
3.5 fucking
terrible.
stars.
No.
It is
no.
a damn near perfect fucking movie.
3.5. Just a half star.
I can't even type this anymore. I'm like my body. I just spent like 18 times trying to type that 3.5.
Listen to the
Because
slob job.
my body rebelled against even writing 3.5 stars for Anaconda. I feel wrong doing that. 3.5 stars. I mean, I'm being generous giving it a star. I'm being nice to it giving it a fucking star.
That's a
It is
magnanimous
dog
one.
shit.
Anaconda is an
shit,
example
TJ.
of one of the hardest
Pig
kinds
shit.
of film
Pig shit, TJ.
to make well. A superior mass audience entertainment. It has the
picture
effects.
experience.
It has the thrills. But it also has the big laughs, quirky dialogue, and a gruesome imagination. You've got to like a film where a lustful couple sneaks onto a dangerous jungle at night, and suddenly the guy whispers, "Wait, did you hear that? Silence."
That scene falls totally flat in the film. So
As do most
I
of
don't.
them.
I don't
What
even.
does that even
I'm
mean?
not
I
even
don't
really
know.
sure.
I don't even
Why
know.
is it supposed to be self-explanatory why that's good?
I don't
Because
know.
he's writing it
To
like,
him-
who doesn't love that?
To
It's
him,
like
that was high
sucks.
art. That was
I
high
don't
art.
That's
really
dog
get-
shit.
I
What
don't
about
really
that is
get-
good?
That was high art.
That's some B-movie schlock shit. Fuck you, Roger Ebert.
He's
high art.
basically defending a Hollywood-made B movie. And I mean, in all senses, that really encapsulates that. I mean, and some people like schlock, but this isn't really the good schlock. This isn't the schlock that you're like, you know what, give me some more. This is so bad, it's
Yeah, this
good.
is cock schlock.
This is just
Fuck
so bad,
this.
it's fucking bad.
No,
It just
this
needs
is
to be.
high art. This is a 3.5 star
Dude,
movie.
This is a damn near perfect
I saw this
film.
when I was 10 years old, and this movie, I realized even then was a pile
At
of
10,
shit.
you knew it was bullshit.
I knew it was bullshit, but
So,
it was like,
Scotty's a little smarter than me because I remember at 12 actually coming out. That was pretty badass.
But you know what you could say
But
about
you
this
know what?
movie?
I got a little older and
It didn't push any boundaries. It wasn't subversive. It
Right.
wasn't aiming any criticism at the movie industry or anybody
or anything
at all.
else.
It
Just
was
like,
just
hey,
a
there's
big
a
old
big
snake.
spooky snake.
Simple,
Big
dumb.
snake eat people. Bad
Yeah.
snake.
it's sold on there's a giant snake that's going to eat people. That's it. That's all the average moviegoer knew about this movie at the time.
2012.
2012. TJ, I don't think you've seen this movie, right?
I haven't seen it.
Roland Emmerich. So
I've seen
So
this
I have
movie.
to abstain from this one.
Just scroll through some of the pictures. They pretty much tell you everything you need to know about the movie. It is a brain dead performance from a lot of well-worn character actors.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson and
planes
fucking.
and trains.
It's a CGI
and
fest.
crash and bash and smash and dash. And
It's
crash
it's
and
pretty
bash.
bad. It's just a big CGI fest. I'd give it 1 star for existing.
It's just a bunch of near miss bullshit, dude, and that's pretty much the whole movie. And I mean, I guess you can say there's a very
I went
and
too far.
I give it 1
ham-fisted
star for
environmental
existing and 1
message,
star
yeah.
for starring John Cusack, who I think should be in everything.
Bleh.
I like John Cusack.
You guys said what? 1 star apiece.
1 star.
one apiece. What
And
are you giving it?
I abstained.
Oh yeah, you abstain. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
abstaining.
because
I
you
can't.
haven't seen
I ain't
it.
seen it. I'm not going to rate it.
I mean,
Right, that makes sense.
You're not missing anything by not seeing it. Let's put it that way.
3.5 stars though.
Wow.
So, super awesome movie.
Close to perfect. Close to
You
perfect.
gotta be kidding me.
Close to perfect, Scotty. We're just dumb. We're too dumb.
We're dunces, dude. You know what, Paul? Maybe we're fucking wrong, dude. Maybe there's something with Roger Ebert. Yeah, and like I said, it's a Roland Emmerich film. Director of Independence Day and a lot of other fucking schlock. I mean, not schlock, but big budget. Basically, big budget, mindless popcorn films.
Right. It's not so much that the Earth is destroyed, but that it's done so thoroughly. 2012, the mother of all disaster movies, and the father, and the extended family. Jesus, man, that is so fucking not true. Spends half an hour on the ominous setup scenes. Scientists warn, strange events occur, prophets rant, and of course, a family is introduced. So he's just admitting that it's derivative, shoveled shit, and he loves it. This is not the best disaster movie of all time. This doesn't even come close to the Towering Inferno, and the Towering Inferno is not great.
I mean, this is just a movie.
Godzilla's a better disaster movie.
You put it
than that.
on, and it's just like, you might as well just turn your brain off. There's nothing that's going to challenge you intellectually. You're not going to spend any of the movie thinking
It's just
about
gonna
anything.
go, oh, there's a big crack in the
It's
ground.
just-
Oh, the whole city blew up. Oh, there's a big
Yeah.
wave. Oh, there's a big
It's a
ice.
spectacle. It's something to go and see and not think. And there's nothing in your brain that's going on besides like, okay, this is supposed to be entertainment.
Dude, I think if we measured TJ's height right now, he'd be about 6'2". He looks diminished as a put the fucking camera on yourself right
no
now.
one knows what it's like to be TJ.
TJ looks diminished as a
Is
person.
he sucking his thumb? Is he like fucking?
I don't know.
regressing?
He's been sitting just like that through our whole talking about 2012. Like he's just. I think Ebert has defeated him. I think the weight of the Pulitzer Prize balls in his face
Are you
is
gonna tap out,
starting
TJ?
to. Are you tapping, TJ?
Will this be the first episode that TJ just walks out on? He cannot finish the episode.
Can you go the distance, TJ?
What's wrong, TJ? Let the people into your headspace for a second here. What's going on, dude?
I don't know, dude. I'm just feeling so bad.
Are you disillusioned right now?
I hate this.
Well, let's brighten up our day with a great comedy. Can you throw up our next movie there, TJ? A great comedy, a fantastic film. This is Junior.
It's Julia, TJ.
This is a horrible movie. This is probably one of Schwarzenegger's worst.
Schwarzenegger.
This is definitely
This is a
Schwarzenegger's
great
worst
movie.
ever that I've seen anyway. I've never seen a Schwarzenegger movie worse than this.
It is
utterly
unwatchable.
You would think
I'm coming all the time, TJ.
I mean, you would think that it would just have to be good. Like not good, but like it would have to
Funny
be
or-
entertaining
yeah,
at least.
but it isn't.
For Arnold Schwarzenegger to be pregnant in a movie,
I'm
but it's
pregnant,
not
TJ.
at all.
Nope. It's
a
actually
hideously bad movie. The stuff that should be comedy is treated like drama. The stuff that is presented as comedy is bad. It's just a terrible, terrible, terrible fucking movie.
It's something that just I'm sure a Hollywood executive was like, it's Arnold, but he's pregnant. It's gonna be hilarious, and like it
should have been.
It's almost like a joke that should last a minute that just keeps going on.
Yeah,
and on
and
on.
it never really lands fully either.
Yeah.
It's just weird
Because it's
and
never
dumb.
it's a movie that was begging for a very silly treatment, and it got a very serious treatment for some reason, and that's not. It just doesn't work.
half
at
a
all.
star.
Half a star.
Yeah,
half a star.
That's generous.
Okay, so Paul says half a star.
For Junior, half a star.
I mean, this is just a woeful miscast of Arnold. I mean, and he's not used right, and even in the way that you could use him right, they don't. They just really don't. I mean, Arnold was in so much schlock in his fucking career, and so many fucking basically borderline B movies. To have a movie like this being
This is
taken
the only
seriously-
movie that Arnold's ever been in, I think, that's just fundamentally at the core of it boring.
It is.
What would you
It's
give
so
it,
boring.
Scotty?
I'm gonna give it no stars.
0.
I'm gonna
It doesn't even
I'm gonna
deserve
concur
it.
with Scotty.
It doesn't deserve it. And I'm a big Arnold Schwarzenegger
Well, you're wrong.
fan.
This is a 3.5-star movie. The wonder is not that Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
This is the 3.5.
Dude, you know, I was
movie.
in my head. In my head, I was like, all right, be prepared. When you flip that page, it's gonna be a 3-star review. He's not gonna give it 3.5 stars,
No, it's 3.5.
but it's gonna be a 3-star
Just
review. And you just
shy
gotta prepare.
of
I would
cinematic
have a
perfection.
baby.
You gotta
TJ.
prepare yourself for that 3 stars. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna be
TJ,
freaked out. And then
my
it was,
nipples are sensitive,
I saw that
TJ.
half there, and I'm like, are you fucking shitting me?
Just a skosh shy.
Are you fucking
of the
shitting
greats.
me? 3.5
3.5
stars for
stars.
fucking Junior.
It deserves every
Junior.
single one, apparently.
Junior.
The wonder is not
Okay.
that Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a pregnant person
That
in
is the
Junior,
wonder, actually.
but that he plays one so well. He has an uncanny idea of what will and won't work, and since you walk in expecting almost nothing to work, the result is sort of deliverance. As an actor with big muscles and a bulky Australian accent, you'd think he would be limited, and yet he knows himself so well that it gives him freedom. Is a pregnant Arnold any harder to believe, really, than Arnold as Conan the Barbarian?
Yes.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you
Yes.
mean? Is it?
Yes.
Of course it is.
Am I pregnant?
Can you?
He's a big muscle man.
I am
And
pregnant.
it's easier to imagine him as a barbarian
No,
than as
Paul.
a big fat pregnant
It's
bitch.
not easier to imagine me as pregnant, Paul. Come to me, Paul.
Fill me with your seed, Bozigo.
I want to have your babies. Oh, wait, you cannot have the babies.
Fuck me, man.
Okay.
We're almost to the end.
Okay.
Guys. We got a few more. Oh God, another good one.
God,
Another good one, TJ. The Phantom Menace.
I hate that he's dead because I want to fucking smack him in his fucking face.
This is
wait.
why I hate him.
Well, I'm going to have to automatically protest this movie because Liam Neeson, a admitted racist, is in this movie.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, we've seen a few
Racist
movies that have
Liam Neeson.
avowed wanglers. A Phantom Menace. Do we even need to talk about it? It sucks. It's the worst Star Wars movie by a country mile.
Easily.
And that's saying something.
Yeah, move away from that guy. Okay.
0 stars.
This is, I give it 0 stars just based
Can
on
we
the
give it
fact that
negative stars, please?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna let you do negative
Okay, yeah,
stars.
go ahead
yes.
and do negatives.
Negative 4 stars.
Negative 4.
Okay, then negative 10 for me. It pissed on my childhood in a way that I'll never
All
forget.
right, I'll give you negative 10.
Negative 10
Scotty, how
stars.
many negatives do you give it?
Negative 10 as well, then.
Well, I'm gonna fuck you guys. I'm going to negative 10 as well.
All right.
So we broke the rules for this one.
Yeah,
but it's the
negative
Phantom
10s.
Menace, so whatever.
It deserves.
But we're all wrong. This is a
3.5 stars. Yeah, 3.5
Sorry,
stars. Yeah.
3.5
Okay.
star movie.
Yeah, another 3.5 star review. Okay.
Yep. If it were the first Star Wars movie, The Phantom Menace would be hailed as a visionary breakthrough.
Wrong.
But this is the 4th movie of the famous series, and we think we know the territory. Many of the early reviews have been blasé, paying lip service to the visuals and wondering why the characters aren't better developed. How quickly do we grow accustomed to wonders? I am reminded of the Isaac Asimov story, Nightfall, about the planet where the stars were visible only once in 1,000 years. Yeah, you're reminded of Isaac Asimov because you want some good science fiction after immersing yourself in the Phantom Menace. It's almost like he's telling people, was he trying to send a code to the smarts that he knows that this one sucks and that word came down on high to give it a good rating or something?
Is that your theory?
Dude,
what
that's
other review?
Paul.
I've read the beginning of all of these reviews. What other review does he start with paying lip service to what people are saying bad about the movie? None of them.
A lot of people are saying this movie is a stupid, fucking, boring piece of shit
I mean,
with
this-
cardboard cutout
This
characters.
movie fucking.
But they're wrong.
He calls it an astonishing achievement in imaginative filmmaking.
It's not.
If some of the characters are less than compelling, perhaps that's inevitable. This is the first story in the chronology and has to set up the characters who we already know will become more interesting with the passage of time.
no.
What a stupid assumption you made there, sir.
It's completely wrong. The first movie should have you excited. I mean, look, they had the total novelty of they're going to one of the most celebrated franchises, and I mean, based on the Star Wars trilogy itself, they have this huge, massive opportunity to create something that would have been just as good and just as popular. I mean,
3.5.
and it's a fucking total misfire of a film. The only thing I really enjoyed about this film is the score.
Darth Maul was kind of cool.
Yeah, he had some cool
as a
moments.
character,
but, I
and
mean,
he had a cool lightsaber battle at one point.
They never develop him. They take him out.
I'm not
going to
give it
as a character.
I'm not going to give it
I
credit
was
for any of that
digging
shit.
deep to
Fuck
try
that.
and find anything
No,
about
because
this
I mean,
movie.
this movie was a slap in the fucking face.
Yeah, it really was. I mean,
I don't.
And it coasted on the Star Wars brand.
I'm not sure
That's
if
all
I
it
can
did.
think of a movie that I hate more passionately.
This is the biggest disappointment.
Then
I was a
Phantom
Star
Menace.
Wars kid growing up. I revered the original movies, and this movie, I cannot tell you how hyped everybody was for this movie. And I went in and saw it on release day, waited in a long ass line to see it.
I wanted to puke, dude.
And by the end, I wanted to cry, dude. I was just done. I was like, how did they make a bad Star Wars movie?
It didn't even seem possible.
I didn't even think it was possible until this. And ever since then, they've shown again and again that you can indeed make many bad
It's
Star
more
Wars
than
movies.
possible.
I remember me and TJ went to the 25th anniversary, whatever it was, 20th anniversary
we
of
were.
Star Wars.
I was in denial, and I went, I mean,
Yeah, trying to find things to like.
you know, I mean,
crazy, dude.
I'm not used to it yet. I mean, I think I was tired when I saw it because it was so late, and I didn't really properly understand what I was
We didn't
seeing.
even see it late, though,
Yeah.
dude.
I was 18 when this came out.
Oh, so
and
you had
I
no
guess
excuse,
this was the
yeah.
movie that I think really showed me that movies are just bullshit and like they can suck no matter what. Like, and that probably turned me into the cynical film person I am today because I can't tell you, dude, it sucked so bad.
Because you have
and
the
I
realization.
couldn't defend it.
Because you have the realization, too. It's like, this isn't a matter of budget. This isn't a matter of talent. This isn't a matter like that. All those things could have been assembled together. And in a sense, they were, but it's such a misfire of a film.
It really is. I mean, it failed to capture the spirit of the original. It
The humor.
was miscast in a lot of ways. The central figure, the little boy, is just unwatchable.
It brings all the worst elements of the original trilogy and voice them to the forefront as these are the things that people liked, right?
And then it pushes into the background the coolest thing about it, which is Darth Maul, which they should have developed in the film way better and made his final showdown better. But almost like it is there in that fucking poster, he's pushed into the background of this movie. And really bland, uninteresting bullshit is pushed to the foreground. And, I can't think of a thing that's in front of his big backdrop there that I would put in front of Darth Maul in this movie. Liam Neeson is like drunk and, I don't know, just stoned through most of the movie. He just dials it in. Fucking what's her name is horrible. The kid is horrible. Ewan McGregor.
Are you an angel?
Ewan McGregor is like, I don't know, horrible. I don't know. It's bad. Ugh. I put this one at the end to punish myself for putting you guys through this.
This is not the end. There's more.
No, I know, but near the end. Because I knew that near the end I would be weary of this. This is Reservoir Dogs. This is a 4-star movie. This is my favorite Tarantino film. I just watched it with Ashley. She really loved it. I love this movie. I revere it. It's like a Bible to me. I've seen it like, I don't know, 100 times. I wouldn't be surprised. I love it. It's a movie. It's a movie which is inherently storytelling about storytelling, which is the most meta, crazy fucking thing wrapped in a big fucking crazy bank heist. It's got some of the greatest dialogue and some of the greatest two-man scenes in movie history.
The dialogue is excellent as well.
It's just well written from start to finish. There's a great part about this. There's a scene where Mr. Blonde cuts a cop that they've kidnap's ear off. And I think, did we mention this recently?
I don't think so.
Maybe I was just talking about it with somebody.
so.
I think I told Ashley about it.
Yeah.
Well, Quentin had to fight Harvey Weinstein to get that in. Harvey looked at that and he was like, audiences will bolt from this. That's too gross. And basically Quentin had to say, you know what? If that's out of the movie, then the movie's done. I'm not finishing it. And finally Harvey was like, all right, you can have it in. And I think it's so crucial to have it in there. It's such a fucking linchpin of the film.
Yeah.
This is a 4-star movie for me all day long.
I mean, it really-
If I could give 5, I'd give 5.
really
If I
sets
could
the-
give 10, I'd. Well, you know what? Fuck it. We broke it. This is a 10-star movie for me.
No, let's not
never
go
mind.
crazy. Let's not go crazy.
It's a 4-star movie.
The Phantom Menace
It sets the
is
whole
bad enough
template
to, like,
and
to break
tone.
the rules of reality.
And it's
you know?
and it brings about the best elements, especially because it's such a really, I mean, it's not a huge budget film. It takes place primarily in just one location, but it really delivers on all of what you'd want from it. And I mean, despite not having that budget, it doesn't need it. And that's one of those things that's rare in film, to have such a talented cast and not be this big, grandiose fucking project. It's really like I said, it sets the fucking it sets up Quentin Tarantino's entire career. Because if you see this movie, I think this is the first. If you've never seen his movies, this is the first movie you should watch, and then you'll understand all of his other films a lot better.
It's like the Tarantino Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, I honestly feel that.
So what do you give it?
3.5.
3.5 stars. I think that if as far as Tarantino movies go, I do like some of the later ones better. I like Pulp Fiction better. I like Kill Bill better. I like Django Unchained better. Some other ones. I do think it's up there. I think it's probably in the middle of the pack for me as far as Tarantino films. It's interesting because, like Scotty said, it's all shot on one location, so it's got to make the most of the dialogue. And, of course, Tarantino is one of the best, if not the best, at writing interesting character dialogue because, very few movies that have a lot of long, ponderous conversations are actually very interesting.
One of the greatest...
and this one, he's the guy that can pull that off. Because
one of the greatest scenes in this movie, and it's so fucking iconic.
Yeah.
When Mr. Orange, who is actually an agent, is learning how to be an undercover cop. He learns this bullshit story, and there's this fucking brilliant scene where he starts telling it like he's practicing it in front of his partner, and then it seamlessly transitioned to him at home practicing it alone in front of a mirror, and then it seamlessly transitions to him actually telling it to these criminals, practicing it out, and then it seamlessly transitions to a visual representation right at the exact perfect moment that you want to be seeing what he's telling to these criminals. It's just the most brilliant segment of the movie for me. Yeah. It gives me chills watching it. And it's a 2.5 star movie.
Oh. Well, I was going to give it 3 stars. But
it's a 2.5 stars. So you're close again, TJ. You're close again.
Close. No cigar.
Close.
I don't even want to read it. One of you can read it if you want to. I can't.
Now that we know Quentin Tarantino can make a movie like Reservoir Dogs, it's time for him to move on and make a better one. This film, the first from an obviously talented writer-director, is like an exercise in style. He sets up his characters during a funny scene in a coffee shop and then puts them through a stick-up that goes disastrously wrong. Most of the movie deals with its bloody aftermath, and they assemble in a warehouse and bleed and drool on one another. The movie has one of the best casts you could imagine, led by the legendary old tough guy Lawrence Tierney, who has been in and out of jail both on screen and in real life. He is incapable of uttering a syllable that sounds inauthentic, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like it's not really that negative.
Right. I mean, it's a 2.5 star review, so it's better than mediocre, but I don't know. Yeah, I can't see giving it anything below 3 stars from anybody who's seen it.
I feel like if Quentin Tarantino had not gone on to make a bunch of other films that I really, really love a little better, I probably would be giving it 3.5 to 4 stars. But it's just in the when I can look at the full extent of the body of his work, I'm like, well, compared to what I like about Pulp Fiction, this does lose a star.
To me, this isn't his best film, but it's definitely an important film for him. And it really, like I said, I think this really helped set the stage for the rest of his career. And I mean,
pretty tepid review for a really fucking foundational movie. Tommy Boy. I love Tommy Boy. Everybody loves Tommy Boy. This is a 3.5 star movie for me. It's damn near perfect slapstick comedy. It's another one of those one's a movie.
The chemistry.
One's a tight ass. One's a retard.
One's scrawny. One's fat.
Yeah. One's a skinny. One's a fatty.
I've watched this movie. This might be a contender for. I don't obviously keep track of how often I watch movies, but this could be a contender for me watching the most. It's probably up there, and I'm not a huge re-watcher like some people are.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of times it's probably 10. I know people who just watch movies have seen the same movie 70, 80, 90, 100, whatever times. But for me, I probably watched this movie about 10 times in my life, and it remains funny with each passing viewing. I got to give it at least 3.5 stars.
Yep. What about you, Scotty? What do you feel about Tommy Boy? Oh, he gave it 3.
It 3.
Got it. Tommy Boy's a 1-star movie.
Oh, yeah, of course it is.
Tommy Boy is one of those movies that plays like an explosion down at the screenplay factory. You can almost picture a bewildered office boy, his face smudged with soot, wandering through the ruins and rescuing pages at random. Too bad they didn't mail them to the insurance company instead of filming them.
Yeah.
tone deaf.
Yeah. No.
We're almost there, guys. And we've got a genuinely good movie coming up that we can all agree on.
They're in the finish line.
Home Alone 3. All right. Clearly, Roger Ebert knows bullshit when he sees it, right?
Now, I have not seen this movie, but 0 stars.
0 stars.
I'm not abstaining
Oh,
this time.
you've not. Oh, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to because you're right. It's a 0-star movie.
It's 0
No,
stars.
it really is. It's a total recast of a character that didn't need to be done in a fucking sequel.
I've
first
watched
place.
a nostalgia critic review. I
Same.
think that's enough.
Oh yeah.
Zero-
If you've
zero
seen that,
stars.
you've seen enough.
I've seen enough to know.
0 fucking stars.
So
Dog
zeros.
shit. Pig shit. Horse shit. Whatever kind of shit you want, that's what it is.
Why don't you go
Let
ahead
me
and
guess.
reveal,
4.
TJ?
Is it 4 stars? No, it's 3 stars. Okay, yeah, 3 stars
It's
for Home Alone 3.
3 fucking stars.
3 stars. Yep.
You read this one, T. I can't even do it.
Call me hard-hearted. Call me cynical, but please don't. No. Why would I call you? If you're giving Home Alone 3 stars, no one's calling you that. They're calling you a fucking gullible dupe piece of garbage. Please don't call me if they make Home Alone 3. Those words from my review of Home Alone 2 now have to be eaten. To my astonishment, I like the third Home Alone movie better than the first 2. Fuck you.
So Home Alone
No,
3
die of AIDS.
is better. No, he
Come
already
back
died
to
of
life.
horrible face
No,
cancer.
come back to life. You fucking jawless piece of shit motherfucker. Where are you? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you and any sympathy I ever had for you,
Dude, not
you
even-
piece of fucking shit.
But not even.
I hated this critic. I hated this critic.
But dude, think about this. Not only did he say Home Alone 3.
Home Alone fucking 3.
It's a good movie. It's better than the first
Yeah,
two.
It's
better
better
than
than
Home
the
Alone 1.
original classic Home Alone
Yeah.
that everybody loves.
Yeah.
No. No. No.
All right, TJ. Keep your sanity together. We've got 2 more movies to get through, and the next one's a doozy.
Oh, it's Garfield.
Garfield.
Mondays.
I hate Mondays, John.
I'd like some lasagna.
You're a loser, John. Oh no, Normal is here. I don't like
I'm
Normal.
gonna have to rape Normal.
This is a
on the
brain
side.
dead.
I also discare for Odie. Oh, I'm
I don't like
Garfield.
anything.
Haven't been funny since 1978. Fucking Garfield.
I mean,
Fuck. What is it? 100 stars, Ebert? Is that what you give it? You fucking dumb putz, piece of shit.
I'm gonna give this 1
0 for me. 0.
0 from me as well.
0, 0, 1.
Brain
One
dead.
What is
star.
it?
1
huh?
star.
3 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. Good job, Ebert.
Garfield.
You nailed it.
Listen to this. Yes, this is Garfield, all right. That's how he begins it. I'll go on. Garfield the movie captures the elusive charm of the most egotistical character on the funny pages.
I'm sorry, just trying to spit up a hairball, dude. Sorry. Sorry, go ahead. You know, Bill Murray basically was kind of almost like tricked into this or just misunderstood what was being made. I'm not even joking.
I hope so. TJ's broke.
Oh, God.
Hello,
TJ's broken.
TJ, my old friend. We've come to visit your shattered psyche again.
go ahead. I'll shut up.
No, it's
No,
fine.
TJ, what are you feeling right now?
Yeah, put
How do
yourself
you
on the
feel?
camera, TJ.
How do you
Let
feel,
the people
TJ?
see your anguish.
I want to be on the fucking camera.
I know you don't.
What do you think of
That's why you
Roger
need to be.
Ebert's 3-star review? 3 stars, TJ. Have you ever seen the Garfield film? TJ, how do you feel about the Garfield movie? Best film of all time? I mean, is it up there with Citizen Kane?
I mean, the Garfield movie fucking sucks. I don't know. I mean, it just like, it self-evidently sucks in such an obvious way that I can't believe that any person with an IQ above like room temperature could possibly say anything nice about it. It's a shameless cash grab piece of shit that has no jokes in it. I mean, I guess that's appropriate because the
What?
fucking comic strip it's based on has no jokes
No,
in it.
TJ. There's jokes about how Garfield loves lasagna.
That's not a joke. The cat eats lasagna.
loves
Who gives a
lasagna.
fuck?
And he's fat.
So
And
what?
he's lazy.
So what?
And he gets into hijinks. It's Garfield.
As bad as the comic strip is, at least it's just a comic strip. Like,
You're just like, meh.
1 panel, 2 panel, 3 panel. Okay. But to take that and apply it to a fucking 4-hour movie or whatever the fuck it feels like.
4 I think it's like 90 minutes.
It feels like 4 hours. It's awful.
I can feel
you. Zero fucking stars.
1 star, TJ.
One more movie to get through, gentlemen.
What is? Did you
And
save
it's
the worst for last?
It's a tough
The
one.
Thing.
4 stars.
Shut up. The 4 stars.
Don't even have to think about it for me.
I mean,
Yeah.
4 stars for me.
It's
as
a 4.
well.
I mean, it's
don't
a.
have to even think. Dude.
It's a
great
perfect film. It's a perfect film.
It's
Please tell me, no, Paul. Please tell me that this is like you're working us up, and then we get to
Yep.
the Ebert review, and
And
Ebert
Roger
actually got
Ebert
the last
steps up
one
to the
right,
plate,
and it's
dude.
like, okay,
Ebert
you
steps
know
up to the
what?
plate.
He wasn't all bad. He wasn't all bad.
well, let me ask you this before you
Christmas
before you
miracle's
click
gonna
on
happen.
it, TJ.
Just
before
let's get it over
Yes.
with.
Well, hold on, before you click on it, you said what? It was a perfect film, right? You said the same.
Yeah.
I would agree. It's perfect. I gave it a 4. It's
I don't even want to do it. No, don't even. Let's not even do it. Let's not even
we
do
have
it.
to.
Sure.
I can't even. Let's
We
not
have
even,
to go into the belly
let's
of the
just leave
beast,
it.
the
TJ.
last one, TJ.
No, TJ.
The fucking table will be incomplete.
We can't let you
Show
look
the people-
away.
I'm not
TJ.
looking. I'm not looking.
Don't look away, TJ.
I'm not looking.
Don't
All right.
look away.
I gotta. I guess I gotta scroll down.
Yeah.
Scroll down right now.
Look at it, TJ.
4 stars.
Look at it,
dude.
TJ.
4 stars.
Look at
dude.
it, TJ.
Okay.
2.5 fucking stars.
No, it's not as bad as I thought because I was imagining it was going to
2.5
be
fucking
0
stars, dude.
stars, and I was going to have to just flip out. So 2.5.
It's okay. 2.5 is a soft landing
that's.
for you.
I mean, the way that this has gone, I thought it was going to be like 0 or 1 stars,
Well, there you
and
go,
I was going to have
CJ.
to die. I mean, 2.5, that's hideous. But God, I mean, wow. I guess I'm desensitized to how awful he is now.
That's the point.
The Thing is a barf bag movie, all right, but is it any good? I found it disappointing for 2 reasons. The superficial character, that's dumb, and the implausible behavior. No. Okay. Yeah, you're stupid. Roger, hey, guess what? You're a dumbass. Roger
That's-
Ebert, you're a stupid fucking you're a tub of shit. You're a tub of shit. Fuck you. Fuck your Pulitzer Prize. Fuck your staged fucking photo. Fuck your fat, disgusting ass. Fuck your stupid goddamn childhood picture of you looking like a piece of shit. Fuck your jawless face. Fuck your statue. I'm gonna go take a shit on that fucking statue, Roger. I'm gonna fucking put my big fat fucking ass right in your lap and shit on your statue dick.
I have to take some issues
Fuck
with
you.
that
Fuck
statue.
you.
One, he was a portly man, so his fucking gut and it should be out the sides of that.
Yeah, it should be. Your
2,
gut should be hanging over the
Roger
edge.
Ebert did. I mean, like the thumbs up, dude. He shouldn't be really giving it a thumbs down. Like,
Well, he's probably looking at a poster of fucking Garfield 2, A Tale of Two Kitties or something. He's probably looking at a fucking poster of
good.
whatever the worst movie of all
So-
time is and be like, yeah,
where
thumbs
do
up.
you, so TJ, where do you come down? Do you subscribe?
I give
to,
Roger Ebert 0 stars.
No, but do you think he was a shill, or do you think there was just
No, I don't
genuinely
think
his
he was a
opinion?
shill.
He just has bad taste in film.
No, I don't even think that. I mean, I guess I do think that.
There are a lot of movies. Keep in mind,
I
I
think-
did carefully craft this list to
Of
be
course.
negative towards him.
Right.
There are a lot of movies
He
that you would
didn't-
agree with him
He
on.
did not always get it wrong.
No.
But these are just some glaring examples of him just not getting films. Because review after review after review, it's not like he understood the film but criticized it poorly. There's so many examples of him just not understanding a fucking film or what it's trying
I
to
have to
say
agree
or
with
what
that.
its message is. And maybe if I reviewed 13,000 movies, I would make that mistake numerous times and
I don't
people
know.
would be able to make this about me.
I
I
think-
don't know,
I
but
think-
fuck this. I mean, like, it just
Well, Paul, you pointed out
bereft of
you
any
feel like
sort
he's
of
shilling.
poignancy.
I
and-
don't know. I don't know if I'm willing
Do you
to
think
defend the shill.
maybe it's a mix of shilling? and
Maybe there were some times where he was, incentivized to give something a good review. I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, because
I
some
think-
of those reviews. I got to be honest. If you read his reviews, and you've talked about it, TJ.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful writer.
Yes.
He actually is.
Well,
He's
most
got beautiful
certainly, yes.
prose, and he really is vividly describing a film and describing the ins and outs of it. He's very good at it. Very evocative dude. And he's been so right about so many great films. If you read his Godfather review or his revised Alien review.
All right, I'll give you my psychological interpretation of Roger Ebert if you want.
Well, let me finish mine, and then you go right ahead.
Right.
I was just
I didn't know
about
if
to
yours
come
was
to it.
segueing to it, but you go ahead. Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. I think that Roger Ebert, his ego was tied up in the movie industry. And when a movie was challenging that industry in some way or subverting a trope, He had a very clear picture in his mind what an action movie should be. And if the action movie didn't follow that script, thumbs down, bitch.
It's like
I
that
think he
rules of
was,
fantasy thing.
At the core of him, stodgy. Just a fuddy-duddy that thought he'd seen the best of action films, and everything's got to fit into that mold. Anytime, so many of those movies in the graveyard of Ebert reviews that we went through tonight are movies that are challenging in some way. You know, Fear and Loathing with the drug humor and the crazy way of, you know, filming through the eyes of someone on mescaline or having huffed ether. And what he couldn't step outside of his own button-up sweater vest, portly little hungry man dinner world for long enough to consider that might be cool. He was an old, stodgy fuck that projected that out on the movies, and it's good that he's dead because at least people aren't reading that stodgy, old perspective. People are at least maybe people, because he was such a fucking household name, man. If this was just some dude writing in a fucking newspaper somewhere, whatever.
Yeah, the Iowa
would we be
Register or
worked
some
up?
shit, yeah.
This was the movie critic of America, and he actively tamped down movies that tried to push the boundaries, movies that broke the molds, movies that tried different things, and he actively promoted shit that was just the same. Dreck, unfunny, rote, well-worn fucking tropes. He loved it all. And that's sad, man. A movie couldn't break any of his little fucking rules and get a good fucking score.
But it's almost like I'm saying, but isn't almost playing to the American audience as a whole. I mean, even international audiences, you can argue. I mean, he had a very wide range of influence, and I mean, a lot of people, like you're someone, Paul, that's like a cinephile. You have an appreciation of like film. And I'm not saying that makes you correct about film, but I mean that means you're probably gonna gravitate towards a lot more obscure films.
Sure.
You're not gonna really look at this. A lot of the films he's reviewing and we're talking about here are very mainstream films. And a lot of times, like you're saying, I don't think that most. I mean, like we have fond memories of a lot of these movies, and they've kind of taken on this cult classic status in a lot of cases.
Or classic.
Yeah, or classic, but
Total classic.
To him
in
at the
some
time,
cases.
looking at when those were contemporary, he probably just looked at it through that lens of that time period and was like, "No, I don't think a lot of people are going to like this."
And
or get
anything that
this.
bucked
and I don't think
convention,
and I don't think this is what I want.
Really, I think I have a slightly different psychological interpretation of Ebert based on what I've
Well,
seen.
you can be wrong. It's okay.
I think that he was
Wrong.
addicted to love. I think that he liked the idea of being America's critic, and I think to some extent there was like a cynical attempt to be the voice of them.
The voice.
But he's like, I'm this beautiful writer. I'm going to take what I think the American public will like and not like. And that's why he was the gatekeeper of the trope. When everything went outside of the box, he's like, oh, well, this is different. They're going to hate this, so I'll hate it.
Right.
And they'll speak for them. But then sometimes something different resonates with the crowd. And that's why he had to go back and change some of his reviews. It wasn't because his view of the film had changed. It was because he didn't want to have a film that it looked like he was on the wrong side of.
But if
something
why
was
didn't he change all of these?
Well, maybe some of these, maybe he would have if he'd lived long enough.
I mean, some of these happened in the
Yeah.
80s and the 70s, like Clockwork
Right.
Orange, he gave a 2.
Right, exactly.
And I mean, that's
But I
roundly
mean, he was
considered to be
he
a
might have
classic
been,
film.
It might have been something he would have got around to because he did change a lot of those old
A Clockwork
reviews.
Orange though is never going to be like.
I think that
it's-
he
it's-
really
it's a
wanted to
film
be
that's known, though.
he wanted to be the intellectual voice of the average moviegoer, and he would try to get ahead of trends, and sometimes he could hit it out of the fucking park and realize what they were going to like and what they weren't going to like, and other times he just fucked up because he didn't realize that sometimes bucking a trend is a good thing.
You know, I'm sad because I felt like kind of a big game hunter when I was researching this, and I got really downtrodden when I could not find anywhere that original Alien review that sparked all of this in me.
Yeah,
But
because this all started.
I kind of, like, I don't really agree with your interpretation of him wanting to be on the same side as everybody.
Yeah.
I think it was about his ego. That movie, Alien, ended up in the Library of Congress.
Yeah, and then of course he ended up changing it
Right. And so it was so glaring, though.
to the point where you can't even find the original review now.
Right. And he's, and in his new review, he makes no reference to the previous one.
No, of course, because he's trying to erase it from history.
To the average person, this is Roger Ebert's review.
Yeah. And it's totally dishonest because it's basically saying, yeah, this is what I said at the time.
Right. Own up to the fact that
Yeah.
you were wrong.
There should be a link in that to here's my old review, here's why I've changed my mind.
But I have no idea how many of those he's done.
Well, that'd be genuine.
How many of these rewritten reviews are out there?
Apparently there's been,
and in what form?
Apparently there's been quite a few.
Right. So that to me is the sign of a coward, like a person that's defensive of an ego that got full
But
of
couldn't you
himself
say
because
too that his opinion just
Ebert
changed?
was movie criticism and
I mean, look,
for his whole
we do
career.
have to, for a sense of fairness, we do have to point out that, yeah, I mean, someone's taste in a film could change. I mean, there's definitely been movies that I've felt different about at different parts of my
maybe
life.
he saw when he saw the original Alien, it didn't resonate with him. But then, watching it years later, it's like, you know what? I've had years to think about this. This actually is a great film.
If you want to talk about how Ebert has certain tropes in mind for things, sometimes when a movie breaks those rules and it sets up new rules, and then those become
That
the rules,
becomes
and
the
then he
trope.
goes back and looks at it. Oh, actually, it is obeying the trope. But no, it actually invented the fucking trope.
Right. It started
So
a
he's
new
like, oh,
branch of the trope.
Now that I understand
Now
the
I'm
trope,
defensive of the
because
trope.
now I'm defensive of it, and I have to defend its origin.
Like Star Wars, for example.
I don't know. It's his almost uniform dislike of any movie that lampooned what he did.
But it seemed like he disliked almost every movie that had any subversive angle about not just Hollywood, but society, or had
Yeah.
anything challenging to say about the human psyche or anything like that.
He didn't like being confused by a movie or made to really think by a movie. He didn't like being fooled.
Yeah.
He didn't like a movie that was dishonest in any way. He was very straightforward. He wanted very straightforward plots. He wanted recognizable themes in his films.
One's
And he celebrated that. Yeah, one's.
World destroyed. Bad.
For me, I'm going to go forward and I'm going to use that little term, but it's always going to be cynically.
Right. It's always going to be to make fun of how
But you
fucking
see
shit
how
that
I was
is.
introduced to it. It's lovingly. It's like it's a lovingly, delightful One's-a film. One's a cop.
I mean, but
One's
isn't
a,
that ultimately a path you have to go down if you talk
We
about...
did use it positively
if
talking
you talk
about
about
Tommy
being
Boy,
a critic, though.
It's true.
If you're talking about being critical of something and to have that job, I mean, of course you're gonna have these kind of reactions to that because like the films that we find to be important, maybe he didn't find to be important. I mean that's gonna be intrinsic within any
Right.
sort of medium which you're going to be rating
But when
something.
but like,
and categorizing it and giving
when it
people
comes
an
to
opinion.
Yeah, but when it comes
Oh, it's
to
just an
he's a
opinion.
critic, he's a critic, we're
Well, how can you say it's an incorrect
moviegoers.
opinion? At the
We
end
can't
of the
say
day
it's
of something?
incorrect, but what we can say is, hey, here's our take on reality and what we appreciate, and here's his, and there's a huge incongruity there. So, how can we take it seriously?
Right.
If someone takes films that I think are,
Groundbreaking.
fun or challenging or groundbreaking, or is even sometimes it's not even arguable they were groundbreaking.
Right.
And someone shits all over those movies, how many times does that have to happen before you're like, me and you just don't get along? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it is ultimately, at the end of the day, subjective. There are people that agree with Ebert. There are probably going to be people in the audience for this
Sure.
that
There's
agree
people,
with
"Yeah,
him more than
Ebert,
they agree with us on some of these movies.
Ebert's right, you guys are wrong.
But that actually did
Go
satisfy a
join
need
Ebert's
in me
Patreon
because
then, bitch.
I tell you what, dude, Ebert is still a revered name amongst film critics.
For sure.
And I don't really know, other than the fact that he was so widespread, I don't know that he really deserves it because he was backwards on a lot of really important films and may have, encouraged people not to embrace, a style of filmmaking that might have pushed boundaries.
But you can also argue too that he really kind of brought film critique to the masses.
Sure.
I mean,
he was,
that's very influential. Look how many people on YouTube now do that. I mean, would they
Right.
necessarily have done
Yeah.
that if they
Would
didn't
that
have
even be happening
Gene
now if
Siskel
not
and
for-
Roger Ebert's show?
Ebert and Siskel and Ebert, or what?
And I mean, I don't
You
think
can't
many
take
people,
that from him.
and I don't think many people even do it anywhere near as well as they did it.
Right.
So
I mean, look, their show, like I said, whatever you want to think about.
innovative.
I mean, like, the reality is, as a film critic, I don't respect him. As an entertainer, I can respect him because he was an entertaining guy to watch on television. He's an entertaining guy to read his reviews when you agree with him. So I mean, like, I love when he savages a movie that I think is dog shit. I can't deny it. I hate to see when he savages a movie I like. So, he's pushing buttons one way or the other. I got to give him a fucking, B+ to an A as a entertainer in his own right.
right.
But as a critic, I give him an F. Fuck him.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders now. I hope this inspires some people to disrespect not only Roger Ebert, but any critic. Don't listen to critics. Critics will tell you, don't listen to my star reviews. In fact, do we have that clip? That would be a good one to end on. Go ahead and play it, TJ.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to defend thumbs up and thumbs down. It's a silly rating system, and so are stars. And you know, most of the newspaper and movie critics in America give stars, usually 4 stars and down. Even Film Comment now has a star rating system. And the French magazines have little bullets and other little symbols that they use. Those are all silly, but they're all shorthand. My point is, don't look to see what direction my thumb is moving. If you're really interested in what I think about the film, read my review or watch the show, and the content is in the discussion.
So
Yeah, well, we did that and it still sucked.
I would amend that by one step and say, don't listen to critics at all. If you want to know whether a movie is good or bad or tickles your fancy, just take the fucking
Watch it.
plunge and go watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's the only-
enjoy it for what it is.
That's the
or
only way you're ever gonna know.
don't be looking to other people to color your opinions on film, because there's a lot of fucking people out there like Roger Ebert.
I tend to I'd rather read reviews of films I've already seen.
Right, and I'm
Honestly.
fine with that. I'm not saying never read critique of a film.
you know
I'm
what?
saying
I
don't go in
I think
with
it's-
somebody else's expectations on your plate.
Right. I'm way more likely to watch a review of a film that either if I'm watching or listening to a review or reading a review, it's either because I haven't decided on a movie yet and I kind of do want someone else
Right.
to give me a thought one way or the other, or it's because I've already seen the movie and I want to know what other people thought and what the mass perception is
Sure.
and compare it to my own opinions.
But watch movies for you.
Yeah,
Don't
I
watch
mean-
movies because these dudes say that it's
Yeah,
good.
I mean,
certified fresh.
if you're going to, I mean, like, no one should look at a film critic like Roger Ebert or anyone else
As definitive.
like, this is the definitive truth. It's not. It's never going to be.
Watch as many movies as you can, man. Bad ones, good ones, mediocre ones, whatever. It's like that's the adventure of it. Finding a good movie is worth all those bad ones, and you'll find a lot of gems and even the bad shit.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to find stuff that everyone else hates that you think is actually pretty good.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to find that if you listen to critics. You're not going to find that crazy ass movie that's like, what the fuck? That was awesome. If you're listening to people like, I thought it was juvenile. Like, who cares? Who cares what they thought? You know, it's all about you.
I agree with you.
What you enjoy.
A lot of times, you know, oftentimes if someone recommends a film or a TV show, I'll watch it just based on like, well, this person thought that information would be relevant to me. And there's times I've thought whatever they recommended was dog shit. And sometimes I thought it was great.
By the way, HBO's Barry is a pretty good show. Throw that out there.
Cool.
Cool. Well, there you go.
All right.
The end.
Thanks for being patrons and shit.
Bye.
Bye.